the situations that are put in front of them. And it looks like we're getting started.
That we are. We're getting started at the ship, and Aussie is using a custom sprite, something I was not aware of for this combo randomizer, for at least the Super Metroid side, is a custom sprite being used as we are getting a look at Luigi.
And everybody opting to go straight into Link to the Past. Evening, Cheese. Good to see you.
That is Spring Ball on the Lake Hylia Island. Could come in handy, even though it's not going to be... Ooh, now that's really nice to get early screw attack at Link's house. While Sanctuary has a piece of heart, it's what's at Link's house is really what can come in handy for the Super Metroid side.
Yeah, and also really early they've got a decision to make, because Screw Attack does open up a few locations there in Super Metroid, but is it worth the trip is the decision you have to. Looks like Hitaka and Cheese are going for the hula hand.
A good strat to use at the start of an open seed for a Link to the Past, as well as the open of this, because it's a 225 rupee play. Helps with the money situation.
That's pretty much a default opening for me as well. The only time I ever skip that is when I feel like I have to take some chances because my execution isn't up to par with my opponents. Still, it's a solid strategy. Like you said, that 225 in your pocket really counts. And it looks like, okay, Aussie's just going down to check that item. No, he's going to get bombed.
Makes sense. But meanwhile, we did get a map check, and we have all 3 crystals in the light world with 5-6 crystals at Eastern and Desert. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out into this seed. Now, this is a play you don't see very often out of Aussie, going to Sahasrala's and the eastern area first.
Yeah, and Cheese is doing the same thing. Meanwhile, Apathy Duck is taking the more common route, going through Lost Woods first, and Hitaka is coming up from the south. So we've got some divergence already.
Apathy Duck opting not to pick up the arrow upgrade. Now, the reason you see those out in the wild is that a Link to the Past logic for Combo Randomizer is based off version 29, the last version to utilize such a feature. Version 30, version 31, put all the upgrades back and you had to buy them.
Yeah, and there's really a good split in the community. Just a 20 there at the tavern. There's a split in the community about whether that's good or bad. Some people like them, some people don't.
Well, to be fair, when you do buy them, they do count as giving you a full-on refill. So if you're out of arrows, for example, buying an arrow capacity upgrade, as we get a bird clip up for Hitaka, actually gives you a full refill of arrows. So, if anything, that saves you from grinding. But that's situational.
That's a good point. Looks like Thieves' Hut didn't do much for Duck. The highlight there was just an E-Tank, which will come in handy for Super Metroid.
It will, because for the Super Metroid side of things, it takes 3 to be able to beat Mother Brain, but if you have to do hell runs, you're going to need more than that.
Well, we've already seen 2 or 3 E-Tanks, if you count the one that's in the well, and there's flippers. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see some hell runs come into Logic here before.
True, especially if for area suit winds up in a weird location, or a late game location for that matter.
So far, the early Eastern play not really paying off for Aussie.
Going for the dark room check here. Out of logic, but it's an easy enough dark room where learning it isn't the real hard part.
Well, I don't think we've seen many Moldorm yet, but we're fast running into the point where that screw attack may have been the signal for the play. And Aussie just getting a big 20 out of that last chest in Eastern, so he's going to bail.
Understandable. But it's always good to check Sphere 0 at the start of a seed, and as much of it as you can, because you never know. You might find more than one thing that's important. Apathy Duck not picking up the big 20.
Yeah, Apathy, a winner of several races, he knows who his competition is. He knows that big 20, it's not worth the couple of seconds it would take to pick it up. He is not going to be wasting any time.
Aussie getting a nice tree pull for 20 rupees each. That's 80 rupees total. Ooh, and the bug is spitting out bombs. We're about to get a lumberjack check. Let's see what this turns out to be. And it turns out to be, I believe that was the high jump boots. Yes, it was. And the green pennants at Misery Mire.
Very rarely are high jump boots progression in Super Metroid. It takes a certain concurrence of events for that to happen. However, not having them can make the game a lot more of a pain.
That is believable, especially knowing we're in hard logic. Not having a high jump can make certain things much harder.
And another E-tank it down. Yeah, this is shaping up to be interesting already.
Yeah, right now it is starting to seem like maybe the flippers hold something in the Zora's domain area or at Hobo, as Tina Burn is at the dam. So yeah, I'm gonna agree with chat. There is definitely a bottleneck to be had unless Mini Moldorm Cave also has something.
Still, like you said, you got to check all those Sphere Zeros because places like Agena, Ice Rod Cave never have anything there until you skip it.
Yep, that sounds about right. Apathy Duck in the desert. That's a glove on the ledge.
Can't get to it right now, but interesting. Oh, and there is that a flute that I saw in
Yes, that is a flute. X-ray scope was also there too, so well, you can have some fun with that if you have charge and plasma beam. More on that later. But we got an Agena check from Apathy Duck, which turns out to be a sword. Wow, that is trolly. Because that's literally a one-off until you can do stuff in the mire area, potentially. So, yeah, that's a bit rude.
Yeah, but it's a great feeling when you make that play and it pays like that. And make no mistake about it, a sword is payment right now.
As right now we do have Apathy Duck in Hyrule Castle with Fighter Sword. I like this play because it's an open mode seed for the Link to the Past side. So the sword's definitely going to help. A bottle check from Aussie, and that turns out to be missiles.
Just a reserve tank at Hobo, and Ice Rod Cave just had a missile pack.
Well, the map chest for Hyrule Castle had a blue mail. Pretty good. That's a defense upgrade for A Link to the Past side.
And now from Hatako, we'll be getting a Waterfall Fairy check. And he'll probably be, he does have the money, probably head on up to Zora, maybe. Yeah, nothing much in Waterfall of Wishing.
There's Bombos in the boomerang chest. Rather, the blue meringue chest. That's a... Well, here we got a different strategy going here. Apathy Duck is going to do a Death Warp to steal the key. Don't see this all that often, but it is a strategy for open mode. This is risky because there could be something in Zelda's cell, but Apathy Duck is taking the gamble on there being nothing there.
And see, this is what it's all about. Rolling the dice and seeing what happens. Now, Aussie has decided to go ahead and dip into Super Metroid. He's going to do the screw attack check.
Wall jumping up to Gauntlet. See if this turns out to be something, because screw attack makes going through Gauntlet a lot easier. But without space jump, you still got to be careful because you could still wind up landing in acid.
Not only that, without Morph Ball, it's really easy to get soft locked.
See, does front of Gauntlet have anything? It's Super Missile Pack that Aussie is not interested in at the moment.
I did not catch what Apathy got from the chest.
Based off of key count, I would say small key.
Okay, so the Zelda chest he still has the option for now. It looks like he's going on through.
Here's a strategy, using Bombos to try and pick up what's there, and Aussie gets super missiles at the Criteria E-Tank. Not continuing any further on that route, though. Going back to A Link to the Past.
That's an interesting... I don't understand why I didn't go further, but hey, that's Aussie. He does stuff like that.
Well, for Apathy Duck, that play might have backfired because there is something in Zelda's cell. We don't know what it is. Hopefully we won't have to find out because it could be a while before Apathy Duck heads that way. Still, it's worth noting that by virtue of having the flute, you can activate it and fly up to Death Mountain, get access to a couple of checks, and can also access Norfair Business Center.
That is correct. And also, Fair, and you're correct, there are those two checks. But with Screw Attack, he has access to the 2 items in Big Pink as well.
Yep, and Stargazer brings up an excellent point as well. Screw Attack allows you to check Old Mother Brain, which, if you're going to head down to check Vanilla Morph, then that would be a worthwhile stop. as Hataka gets their first sword. Now, Cheeseinator is in Hyrule Castle, so if they choose to go all the way into Zelda's cell, then we might get an answer to what's there. And is it something Apathy Duck's gonna have to go back for?
Yeah, Cheese using that cane of Burna. He hasn't been to Agini yet, so he doesn't have a sword, but that saved him a couple of bombs. Uh-oh, he missed that bomb on that green guard, so he'll be fine.
Yeah, you only can afford to miss with one more. I
Trying to get that guard's attention, and he just can't do it. There we go.
Yeah, that guard's literally like got his head in his work or something. King Zora, by the way, was selling heart containers today. As Hataka is in Business Center, that's just a big 20 at that end. Apathy Duck picking up the super missiles off Zora's ledge. And Cheeseinator's about to answer a question that I have about what was here.
Oh, Hataka, unfortunately missing that shot, so now he's going to have to wait for it to come back around. But he did pick up power bombs.
That'll help with Morph Ball. By the way, the item in Zelda's cell was Blue Boomerang. And that's a Death Warp from Cheeseinator. The long wait for Hataka is finally over.
Well, now it's coming down to, looks like Spectacle Rock Cave or one of those 5 checks in Super Metroid.
Great idea to head into Super Metroid, but I don't think I would have gone Business Center without Morph Ball. We got powder on the ledge. That can come in handy, but it can also be something and another E-Tank inside Spectacle Rock. So it is starting to look like Old Mother Brain and Vanilla Morph.
Well, don't forget, they also have access to Big Pink. There's 2 items down there they can get to with just Screw Attack.
Yep, there's 2 that I can think of. Yeah, I know which 2 you're referencing. And I'm wondering if Spore Spawn would also... No, you'd soft lock exiting without Morph Ball. I just hope hard logic doesn't account for that, because that'd be evil.
Hitaka picking up those 20 rupees from the tree pull, and Apathy going to be checking Spectacle Rock. So now it's just a matter of who goes to Super Metroid or back to Super Metroid first.
Oh yeah, that's basically where we're at, as Hataka just cuts through both guards with ease.
And Link Force, our tracker, thank you, by the way, Link, for doing that tracking tonight, pointing out Spore Spawn can't have Morph Ball. The way the logic's set up, even in hard logic, it can't be in a place that you would soft lock if you did not find it there.
Let's see. who makes what move first. As Cheeseinator and Aussie are both doing Darkroom strats. Apathy Duck hitting the reset button.
All right, here we go. I can't see him not doing all the checks here.
So Cheeseinator is through. Unfortunately, out of bombs though, so will not be able to check the back 3 chests on this trip.
That's just so discouraging when that happens to you.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that, as Apathy Duck is making the move to go to Big Pink first. And Cheeseinator realizes the predicament and bails.
That's sort of an interesting choice to go to Big Pink first. And I guess he's going to take a peek at what's under the crumble bridge. Yeah.
Piece of heart. Yeah, both of these are definitely good plays, but it's really a question of which one's going to play it, which one's going to pan out first.
I'm not going to criticize Apathy's choice because he's, either or is a good choice. I think for myself personally, I would have gone down to Old Mother Brain first, because if you find Morph Ball there, then you can progress on through Big Pink.
We just got a mirror in Big Pink. So what's the other item is the question. Piece of heart, but that mirror definitely makes the trip worth it. Because now you have access to Hera, and you have access to that powder, plus at least one more check, two more chests inside of Hera, more if you do not need to go down to the basement, because our runners do not have a fire source as of yet.
Yeah, it's very possible that mirror could be the progression.
Still, I don't think I'd go back to Link to the Past without checking Old Brinstar and Old Mother Brain at this point.
Oh, no, I agree with you that you definitely want to check those. Aussie, meanwhile, is checking out Zelda's escape. We know that blue mail is about the highlight of what he's going to find there. And Cheese is going to find his sword.
Actually, Apathy Duck is bouncing. And heading off to Hera. I wouldn't call that
Wow, that's really interesting. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk up.
Don't worry about it. It is an interesting play, but one would think that you'd check the remaining Super Metroid locations. Because I thought he was going to maybe dip out, go back in, which would count as a save of sorts. Just in case of a soft lock, but not the case here. Either way, we might get a Dark World map check at this point.
It is a bit risky to do that. I think I know the train of thought he's having. There's a lot, just like there's some that have evolved to where they like to do all the other checks before they go to Kakariko. A lot of runners like to wait until they see if they can get speed booster before they do those checks. So that way they can cover everything before they go down there.
Well, this is going to be very helpful for Apathy Duck, as that is a big key. So this dungeon is beatable, and he's not even going to waste time with the map chest. He's just going straight up.
Yeah, it looks like Apathy's strategy here is constant time conservation. That's interesting. Let's see how it pays out for him. Meanwhile, Cheese and Aussie are back in dark rooms.
Looks like it is through the sewers, or both. Apathy Duck is setting up for a bomb jump. Missed it first time. Got it the second time. That is a 2-pixel window to hit, and that is huge. That's the speed booster.
Now that opens up. Still without Morph Ball, he can't do everything, but that opens up more in Super Metroid, definitely. If I'm not mistaken, green gate glitches are in logic in hard mode, correct?
Our tracker has confirmed that. I was going to agree with that just based off what I know. But that is part of why I don't play hard mode, is because I cannot hit green gate glitch for whatever reason. And that's another pack of super missiles, so Apathy Duck's saving some time by not going to the map chest. So this play has paid off.
Yeah, so far Apathy's gambles have really played right well for him. Felfarin, they would need at this point, because we know that high jump boots are locked by Aga, they would need either space jump or ice beam for the top of Red Tower to be in. They can't make it up there right now from the bottom. But what I was thinking about was, if green gate glitches are in logic with speed booster, they can make it all the way down to Crocomire.
Aussie is heading for Old Mother Brain with a very nice moonfall, and that's the Barrier suit right there. So we get our first look at Fire Luigi.
And that is huge, because that puts a good bit of upper Norfair in logic now.
Yep, without the need for doing a hell run, but Apathy Duck not even gonna bother. Wow. Old Brinstar, Old Mother Brain quite stacked, as that is the wave beam for Aussie.
I'm calling it now. Something's at Crocomire.
Starting to seem like it, admittedly. That is a piece of heart, which Aussie does not need. Judging by ammo count, I'm starting to think that Crocomire might have something here. Possibly.
Duck, this is not going to do you any good, because you're going to remember in a minute you don't have Morph Ball.
True that, and no way to crumble tower either, because that one needs power bombs.
Looks like Ataka is going to do the same thing. Also, he's going to check the front of Gauntlet first.
Well, Apathy Duck had to reset because they went for Ice Beam, yet you sort of need to have Morph Ball to do anything with that. Apathy Duck opting to go for Gate Glitch instead. Having some trouble with it. Is there any difference for going for a Gate Glitch when it's a blue gate between a missile or a super missile? Because right now, it looks to me like, oh, I was about to say, it looks like Apathy Duck's just missing the timing, and then gets it right as I'm about to say something about it. Commentator proven wrong.
I believe super missiles have a larger explosion radius of at least a couple of pixels, so it's a bit easier to get those blue gates with a super.
Yep, and our tracker is confirming that, by the way, that supers have a larger radius. However, Apathy Duck is in okay shape because of the energy recharge room, as also he gets the mirror. As Apathy Duck is going to get our first look at Crocomire. I believe he's got the ammo to pull this off. You mean all that heat's gonna leave us with having a roasted duck for dinner?
It may.
Wow, that was the weight of the Morph Ball! That opens up so much of Super Metroid right there. My attempt at a bad Pona aside.
And that's great news for Duck. The only problem is I wish he had checked old Mother Brain and all that first, because he could go ahead from this point and pretty much full clear all the upper North Air, do all those checks. Now it would be a hell run for him, which while he can do, would still take time.
True that, and he currently lacks the ammunition resources to be able to do a Crystal Flash. He needs 2 more Power Bomb cases just to make the minimum. Still, this room's a good farming room to get your energy back up.
Yeah, that's why this little John, I don't blame him for going ahead and doing the hell run to Croc, because you got so much help here. The energy refill and then the 2 farming spots, they really pay off.
And Cheesinator just got their various suit.
Oh, Apathy missing that jump.
Without high jump, that speed booster assisted jump has a tighter window to hit, I noticed. And I noticed that from the seed I played the other night.
It does. You're right. It does. You have to do your jump right towards the end of the platform. Interesting enough, Screw Attack helps with that a little bit, because Screw Attack gives you just a little bit of lift to keep you airborne long.
Apathy Duck trying for a multi-tap short charge. Unfortunately, the enemy's not being cooperative. And that's the Plasma Beam!
So there's plenty of goods down here.
Has officially become a stacked area. And that's just a 5-bomb capacity, but this lower Norfair, holy smokes. If we were raiding a hype cave, this would have been pretty hype.
Morph ball and plasma? Yeah.
We do not have charge beam accounted for, but it is still fairly early in this. If we do get charge beam, then our runners will have access to microwave beam, which will, well, let's just say some bosses will not be living long as a result of that, as Aussie is now taking on Moldorm.
Now it's going to be interesting to see what Duck does from here. Whether he opts to hell run the rest of Upper Norfair, the Bubble Mountain area and all that, or whether he decides to go back to Criteria and get him a little bit more equipment.
As it stands right now, all of Gauntlet is wide open, and there's a lot of game that's wide open as a result of what's been found in Lower Norfair.
Yeah, between Morph Ball and Varia and Wave Beam being in Old Brinstar, that's pretty much everything in Criteria. Brinstar, Gauntlet, Wreck Ship is now in Logic. All of Upper Norfair is in Logic. It's pretty wide open.
I wouldn't consider Suitless Meridia in Logic because they don't have high jump. Or am I missing something there? So we get a bug net at high jump.
I'm not sure. Link can probably answer this better than I can. I'm not sure what exactly puts Suitless Meridia in here. I would think high jump, usually you want an ice beam, you want a grapple beam, something like that. Spring ball is a big help, but I don't know if this logic requires it. Okay, thanks, Link.
Yep, thanks for that, Link Force. Now, it's worth noting for Crocomire, that first hit, Croc always takes one step back, so unless you hit him with a charged plasma beam. Because a charged plasma beam is literally a one-hit KO. Oh, you might want to back for that, Apathy Duck. That's the fire rod. That's exactly what he's doing. Probably getting a setup. As it looked like Luigi was scratching his nose or something. Uh-oh. He had a bit of a stumble. Now he's just gonna try one more time. Nope. And just resets because that was a death.
Also, just a note on Crocomire, you're right. If you hit him with a charged plasma shot, he'll keep backing up. If you hit him with any other charged shot on the first hit, he'll only back up one step. If you hit him with a super missile, he'll only back up one step. But if you hit him with 2 or 3 missiles on the first shot, he will back up a step for every missile you hit him with.
That is an interesting detail. Apathy Duck going right back for it again. Can't say I blame him because that is a major item, which puts a couple of things in the Link to the Past side into Logic. As Aussie gets the plasma beam.
I gotta be honest with you, I was a little surprised to see Fire Rod. When I saw them get flippers early and I saw Bombos early, I was expecting a Mitz, maybe a Ice Palace with Bombos play to get Fire Rod, but it didn't turn out that.
And Apathy Duck is taking another reset because that's a second death. This Fire Rod location's not doing him any favors. And chat brings up a point. Aussie having Very is going to make this location much easier for him. But Apathy Duck's going to leave it for now, understandably so. I mean, Kraid is an option right now. And I would think that, considering where Apathy Duck is, probably go for that. And that's exactly what he's doing.
That is a good play, but at this point, I put Aussie ahead. He's already got Varia. He's already got the Wave Beam. He doesn't have to go back for it. The time that Apathy has had to spend has pretty much cost him what Leedy had.
Aussie's going about it a way I wasn't expecting. I did not... Okay, I will admit, I did not know that was a thing. That was a very quick and efficient way of picking up the Fire Rod for Aussie.
Yeah, the really hard part of that is getting your Shine Spark once you jump up out of Crocomire, especially without high jump boots. That's a really technical trick to do, and Aussie did a beautiful job of it.
And Ice Beam had a heart container. Is Apathy Duck getting a quick kill? Yes, he is. I was about to say, is Kraid going to the prom, or is he getting sat down? And Kraid is getting sat right down for a power bomb tank. But we do need to defeat Kraid, Phantoon, Dragon, and Ridley to access Mother Brain, so that fight's required.
And that power bomb tank, while it may not be progression, is welcome, because 10 power bombs without bombs is far, far better than 5. He's got a little breathing room now.
There is one more reward for defeating Kraid. It is this room, which just has a piece of heart. But those enemies that Apathy Duck beat have a high tendency of dropping power bombs. Yeah, this would be a good time to clear out the spacer room. And then for Apathy Duck, if that yields nothing, it's probably back through Business Center to get to Death Mountain. Can't see any other way out unless that happens to be Space Jump.
And Apathy pulling off the Alpha Spark. Nice job.
Going for an energy refill. Can't say I blame him here.
Yeah, he knows he needs to go get that Fire Rod.
And Kraid has stood up.
And Apathy is trying to set up for the Shine Spark up Red Tower. This is a very tight, short charge. It's made harder by the fact that you have to carry it through the door. And then position yourself perfectly. Nice job.
Wow, that was impressive. I am seeing some things with this game tonight that I honestly did not know were possible. Now, Apathy Duck has turned off Screw Attack temporarily to be able to do this Red Tower climb, as some of those platforms do get destroyed by Screw Attack, which makes this much, much harder. And it doesn't help that you have rippers right there in the way. Ooh, almost had it there.
Yeah, one easy beginner strat you can use is if you wall jump up with your power bomb selected and drop one when you're falling like between those two bushes on the left, it'll take out that bridge and 3 of the top rippers and get everything out of your way.
And I'm honestly used to just hitting them with super missiles, which is harder, I might add. Meanwhile, Cheesinator has taken out Moldorm. And at Alpha Power Bomb, it is a missile pack, and through the wall is 100 rupees. Now, Apathy Duck was going for a damage boost there, missed it, and now is getting beaten up by a Vileplume.
Aussie, meanwhile, is checking out criteria power bombs. See what's up here. And it's vanilla.
Well, when you're looking for stuff and you only have 10 power bombs without regular bombs, more power bombs are always welcome.
Oh, nice try. Aussie was going for the speedball through the blocks. He almost got that. He's really going for the swag strats tonight. I'll give him that.
It might be a case where Apathy Duck does go for wrecked ship, as Aussie is now going through Gauntlet, picking up these super missiles at the front. No idea what's at the back, though. We're about to find out.
Meanwhile, Hitaka is going to be the first one to check out Bubble Mountain.
While that's going on, Aussie has found Pegasus boots in the Gauntlet on the left side. That is a big find for A Link to the Past, not just in terms of locations, but in terms of just overall movement.
Yeah, definitely a key item to get. Hitaka skipping out on that Spazer in Speed Booster because he definitely doesn't want that right
now. Well, if you don't need it, might as well shoot it. Hitaka doing some farming here. As what's at Mockball Super's area, it is a trio of missile packs, and 2 of those are vanilla. So Mockball Super's not paying out today at all.
Pretty much straight garbage.
Oh, wait a minute. Chat just called out something huge. Cheesinator in Cathedral saw the gravity suit.
Oh, that's big because... Has anyone else seen that? I don't think so.
No, that's the first of our 4 featured runners to notice that. Meanwhile, Cheesinator's in trouble. Forgot to turn the speed booster back on, so the lava's got him. And now it's going to be a very tough climb to get out of here. I think he has the energy to pull this off, but... Whew, this is dicey.
As long as he doesn't fall down, and I hope I don't commentator curse him, as long as he doesn't fall down, he should make this.
He made it, but yeesh, that must not have been a comfortable feeling knowing that happened.
Oh, he's got variant. No, he was fine. No, yeah, with all those E-tanks, yeah, if he was fine.
Yeah, don't do that in the vanilla game at that point, folks, because if you do that, you're probably dead.
Aussie finding a 4th pack of power bombs at Mission Impossible.
And speaking of Mission Impossible, here's a random question for you. What does Mission Impossible have in common with Ridley? Both are at a 5/4 tempo. 5 beats per measure, with the quarter note getting the beat for those not in the know.
And Bo for Hitaka at Norfair Reserve.
Okay, I had to get the musical nerd side of me out at some point. So it is just a pair of missiles beyond the bow, so that's the real highlight for Bubble Mountain right there.
Charge Beam at Spore Spawn Supers. Okay. Ammo is no longer a concern.
Absolutely. Now we're just looking for Ice Beam, because with Ice Beam, you'd have the ability of the full powered beam, so ammo at that point is literally an afterthought. And chat calling it out, we do indeed have a microwave that's going to nuke a number of bosses. Now, Hitaka had thought about going for the gravity suit at Cathedral, but opting to reset instead. They did not have enough energy to pull it off.
I see having a little bit of trouble with that waterway shine spark.
But it was
and there's the
worth
Master
it.
Sword.
But it was worth it because you need the Master Sword to beat A Link to the Past. So, in terms of value, oh yeah, that was a big one. I see what Hitaka's doing here, opting to farm. And Morph Ball bombs were at Green Hill missiles.
That's important because that is Can Fly. Nice
Also
speedball
worth
there.
noting that there is one thing that is in logic for both normal and hard that the game can get you to do, and that would be IBJ, Infinite Bomb Jump. But I doubt we'll have to do that here, having Speed Booster. Meanwhile, Hitaka's making another effort at getting the gravity suit.
True, with Speed Booster, we probably won't have to, but it's worth remembering that if they find mitts with the other equipment that they have, all of Lower Norfair is then in logic.
Hitaka has the gravity suit, but can they get out of there without going down? Hitaka is dipping into the reserve. This is going to be close. The Shine Spark gets them out with 28 energy to spare. Talk about cutting it close.
Very nicely done, Hitaka.
Meanwhile, Cheesenator's taking on Crocomire. Going right at him with super missiles, not doing any sort of super missile combo shot. That's one of the cool things about the X-ray scope right there, is that you can look right into what item the Chozo's holding, and make the decision that way as to whether it's worth picking up or not. As for Cheesenator, this Morph Ball will definitely be worth picking up, as Ase is heading for Criteria Supers.
And I believe this will finish up all of the checks and criteria, just an E-Tank, but a good little fill up. And now they definitely have access to enough for stand-up glitch.
Well, that is all of criteria outside of approaching the wrecked ship and the area accessed in upper criteria by way of the wrecked ship.
And there is the other glove.
At Omega Missile. So now we have one glove in hand. Now we just need to get the other one. Based off of how we're set up, I would not be surprised that if we find Space Jump, the game might be wanting us to backdoor into Desert by way of the Mire Shed area by way of Lower Norfair just to get that. Oh my goodness, that's a Moon Pearl, and that's going to be a required, albeit brief, fight against Bomb Torizo. Like, seriously, fight's over already. Oop, not so fast, now it's over.
Another possibility here is do they have lamp yet? No, they do not, do they?
Nope, the only fire source we know of for the Link to the Past side is the fire rod at Crumble Tower. Billy Mays having a heart container and an energy tank, so life upgrades for both games in that location. Ase, on the other hand, heading for Link to the Past.
Link Force, correct me if I'm wrong. I just thought of an interesting scenario. We know that high jump boots are locked by Aga. If they find lamp, then it is possible for the logic, I believe, to require them to do Aga to get the high jump boots. And then with Varia and Gravity in hand, that puts Gravity Jump to put Lower Norfair in logic. Would that be correct, Link?
That sounds about right to me, based off my understanding of the logic.
Ase is about to get his gravity suit as well, while Apathy is going to get that Varia and kick himself.
Well, let's face it, we've all missed checks we should have gotten sooner in any randomizer, but that's just the nature of the beast.
And that is a tight wall jump that Ase was trying on the left there to get to Norfair Reserve.
Yeah, the timing on that is definitely tight, no doubt about it. Not easy to hit. Also, trying to wall jump up Bubble Mountain without high jump, I don't know how he made that look so easy. I tried doing that the other night, and it just wasn't happening.
Yeah, an easier way to do that is to turn off Speed Booster, start your run from the save room, and if you jump where you would normally jump if you had high jump boots, you can make it over to the other wall. That's the more beginner-friendly strategy.
That explains why I didn't make it. I had Speed Booster. Meanwhile, Apathy Duck heading towards Bomb Torizo. A required fight that is going, well, a required location, but it's also going to be a fight as well because our runners do have Morph Ball bombs. Itaka cutting it oh so dangerously close, getting out of Crumble Tower with only 7 health.
Very nicely done, though. He's going to make it out of there.
Aussie is heading over to Vanilla Wave Beam. And Hitaka shatters through the glass in Meridia. As Aussie now heading up to Wave Beam. What's here? Just some missiles. Picks them up anyway, though.
Apathy Duck is going to wreck ship.
Going for an just about got the full ocean fly. And that's just more missiles.
Leslie, pardon me for just a moment. I have to step away for about 1 minute. I will be right back. Sorry.
Oh, good. So good as Cheesinator is heading over to the Ice Beam area, picks up a heart container as Aussie is going for lower Norfair. This may be what I was referring to in terms of picking up the Titan's mitts. As they are going for a gravity jump. Gets it first try. Understandably so, Link Forces. I would also want the Titan's mitts, but the way he's going about it is the green gate glitch, as Apathy Duck hitting a nice little speedball to get through to Phantoon. Now, Phantoon is going to have 3 different patterns: a fast pattern, a medium pattern, and a slow pattern. So I'll say getting green gate glitch before running out of supers. Very important part there. And where was Ice Beam? I missed it, chat. I was focused on the bottom, too. That's a blue rupee. That's screw attack. Oh, Main Street missiles for Ice Beam. Ooh, that's tough location. But Apathy Duck just takes down Phantoon as Hitaka finds the silver arrows at Mama Turtle E-Tank. That's just 20 rupees at GT Missile. Oh, things just got real interesting here for sure. Now, Aussie could grab the Titan's mitts first, but instead is going to head to Checkerboard Cave first. You also can step into Mire, but not finish Mire, because you need the Cane of Samaria to be able to do that. And there's the lamp inside of Mire Shed. That seems to happen from time to time, lamp being in a random spot, as Aussie is the first of our 4 runners to access Desert Ledge and the Titan's mitts. Now, it is worth noting that based off the progression we've gotten from all 4 runners, this would be a good time to note that it is possible for Aghanim to be required because of an item at Lumberjack not at Lumberjack, at Pyramid Ferry. This is a situation where Hammer at Pyramid Ferry is very much in play, and if that is the case, then Aghanim is required.
Hi, Leslie. Sorry I had to step away for a minute. It looks like I've missed some stuff here.
Oh, yeah, we found silvers from Hitaka, lamp over at Meyer Shed. We got Aussie running through desert. Lots of crazy stuff going on. Cheeseinator has finished off Kraid. And Mainstream Missiles has the Ice Beam.
How did Aussie get that glove off a desert ledge? Did he come up through Norfair?
Yep, that he did, courtesy of a gravity jump. They can get to Pyramid Ferry with, well, they can get to the pyramid with flippers, but the big bomb can't swim.
Aussie picking up his tempered sword.
Ooh,
That's
nice.
all he'll need for the rest of the game.
Oh, absolutely. Usually if I have to go to Silverless, if I get tempered sword, I'm fine. And yes, it's both games is the goal. Finish both. As
Yeah, and I agree with you.
And Hitaka taking on Batwoon does not have charge, but has ice, but without charge, has to use supers.
Yeah, I personally would rather do Silverless with tempered than Master Sword with silver.
Agreed, because any sort of Master Sword Ganon fight's pretty low on my list.
The usual nothing in the robot room for Duck.
Yeah, the robot room at the top of the attic seems to be one of those rooms that is just like Ice Rod Cave, just like Egina. It's nothing until you forget to check it.
And unless I'm mistaken, it looks like Duck has not really found anything progression-wise in Wrecked Ship thus far.
So it's looking like to me, although for one strategy you can do is you can go through the door right below where you spit out of the attic, and you can just run through with Speed Booster and use X-Ray Scope or Wave Beam to check that location, as Aussie is going to be not going into Mire despite having Bombos and the ability to do so. Instead, going to be continuing onward to take on Golden Torizo and Ridley. Rather, just Ridley already fought Golden Torizo, my mistake. It's easy to miss stuff when there's a lot going on, believe me on that.
I can understand Ossie's thinking there. He doesn't have Red Cane. He has the mitts. He has the flute, so he can get back to Mire fairly easily. So why chance having to double? And there's the hammer.
Wow, that is a mean spot for the hammer, considering what we've been seeing. Like, runners could be fooled into fighting Aghanim for the Pyramid Ferry location so easily in this seed. As Aussie trying to get up worst room in the game, which without high jump boots is extremely tough. Like, that's a very tight window jump. Oh, hello, Ether Medallion. You are at the top. Oh, you're actually at Wrecked Ship Reserve. Location names. What are they? Apathy Duck not interested in the red shield, even though it is very helpful. Nitaka, by virtue of not having Charge Beam, is going to have to expend ammo to beat Dragon.
Aussie opting to go ahead and do the bomb jump, which, if I don't have high jump, that's what I'm going to just start off with anyway. Because you're right, that jump without high jump boots is, I believe, is almost pixel perfect.
Sounds about right. Which, for that, on that note, shout outs to the low percent runners who make that jump, which is extremely tough, look trivial. Apathy Duck taking a save, Aussie going in to the Coliseum, or well, I might have gotten the room name wrong, but anyway, this room is one you got. Amphitheater, thank you. This is a very dangerous room that I've seen runners die because they miss jumps there, so gotta be careful.
Yeah, it's horrible without high jump. The fact that he has gravity definitely is a mitigating factor. The key to that room, when you don't have space jump, is to get away from the bottom as quickly as you can. Once you make it up towards the middle, you're pretty much all right as long as you don't miss a jump. But that acid comes up really quicker than you think from the bottom.
I guess we call that the 20 rupees of shame this time, as that's what was that power bombs of shame.
And it looks like Cheese is going to pick up his mitts. Actually, that's going to be his first glove.
That it is, because that'll put Titan's mitts, for him at least, at Omega Missile.
Hitaka, meanwhile, he's leaving Dragon. I wasn't here. Did he check the sand pits yet?
No one's seen the sand pits at all. As Aussie is taking on Ridley, going for the charge beam strats, does not have enough supers, so this is a valid strat. You could also X Factor. There's a number of ways you can go about this fight, but if you have charge beam, you don't need all the ammo that you would need otherwise.
Charge wave plasma does enough damage to Ridley to where it's a really viable option here. Plus, he has 14 supers, which do double damage to Ridley, so he shouldn't really have much trouble with this.
That was a good time to switch over to supers while he's pogoing at that spot, and with that, down goes Ridley. Because when Ridley grabs you and when he's at 0 HP, he just starts to explode right away.
Okay, so nothing much of consequence in that sand pit for Hitaka. Is he going to do the ice clip here?
Looks like it, because without grapple beam, that's the only way to get to the Shaktul area. Now, for those who aren't in the know, how does the ice clip?
There is a specific pixel that you have to freeze that Puyo on. So you can jump up on top of it, and it will force your head up just through those crumble blocks right there. You tap jump at the right moment, it will clip you up through it. That's close.
Trying to get up through it with the help of the X-ray visor, or X-ray scope, but no dice. There we go. That's the spot.
No, you're right, Link Force. That's a much better explanation than the one I gave.
It all made sense to me, and besides, wound up looking like something cool. Oh, indeed, Stargazer. If this is progression, then that would be a massive break for Hitaka. We know what it isn't, but what could it be?
Well, based on what you told me, Hookshot could be there.
So could Canis Samaria. But it's just power bombs.
And why not? If you came this far, let's pick them up.
Might as well, especially if you haven't saved recently.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised he didn't save before going down in the sand pit, but
Hitaka having trouble getting out of this sand pit.
again, not having high jump boots is just a pain when you're dealing with Meridia, especially in those sand pits.
Makes me wonder if an Aga 1 climb to get those high jump boots would have been worthwhile, all things considered. That's what it looks like to me, going for the plasma beam pedestal, routing it like it's hundo.
Now, from what I can see, Hitaka does not have his morph bombs. And he doesn't have high jump. So I believe you'll have to do a speed booster escape out of it.
I believe so. Requires a short charge. That's just missiles on the plasma pedestal, which is a big letdown. But with plasma, with screw attack, definitely Hitaka has the resources needed to get out of here. Well, at least in terms of clearing the enemies out of here. Aussie getting a heart container, about to get their silver arrows. Gonna need the help, maybe need the help of Mama Turtle. Nope, gonna get enough speed and just shine spark up to it. Or in the case of Luigi, a super jump.
Hitaka having a little trouble with his short charge. Ah, there you go. That's a tight spot. Oh, but you have to be
just quick. Missed it. I thought they had it too. Second time in a row, they just miss it as Apathy Duck finally gets to the gravity suit. There we go.
I don't know, Sheephead. I've never tried it. It would be a tight angle. You'd have to get it just right. The way I've always had to do it is the way Hitaka just.
So Tommy Lee says they've tried it, and it's a no-go.
So we've got Cheese and Aussie basically holding hands. Apathy Duck is headed into Lower North there. And Hitaka, it looks like, is making his way across Cacatac Alley. I guess he's going to check that left sand pit.
Yep, this would be the routing for checking the sand pit, everything else. Well, actually clearing everything else out in Hundo. So to see him routed like this doesn't surprise me at all.
Oh, an Apathy Duck borking the lava spark. That looked like Quake there. At
It
Aqueduct.
was. Aqueduct was Quake, so now we know where all 3 medallions are.
Apathy reacting quickly, which is good, to kill that shine spark. You do not shine spark through lava or sand. That is a good way to die.
Yep. Now the lava spark did not work, so Apathy Duck switches it up nicely to a gravity jump, gets it done, and the left sand pit is also a dud.
Garbage.
And it looks like Apathy Duck is going for Green Gate, which gets it first try. Nicely done. This would be a good area to have Screw Attack active, just saying.
Absolutely. Okay, he turned his gravity and his screw attack back. I was wondering what he was going to do.
And now Apathy Duck about to take on GT, Golden Torizo. There's one spot where you can stand where Golden Torizo cannot hit you and he just keeps jumping straight up. That's basically how Apathy Duck is set up.
Not to mention when you set up right, those charged wave plasma beams hit double, so it really shortens the fight for you.
Speaking of short fights, Aussie making very quick work of Phantoon. Microwave beam certainly helps in that regard against a few different foes, and Phantoon's one of them, as Cheeseinator is also going for Ice Clip. It's not going to be rewarding, but it is always fun to see it happen, at least to me anyway. Aussie taking the Shine Spark up to Coliseum, because without high jump, you cannot go for full half. You sort of want the high jump to be able to even think about it. So apparently Turtle Rock is a pendant. I did not see that map check that revealed that information, but that is good to know because we may not need Cane of Samaria in this seed because there are situations where that item is not required. And right now that situation is set up for if we don't need Green Pendant or the item that's on Vitreous or anything out of Turtle Rock and the GT Big Keys on the left side or in the Hope Room, then yeah, you got a seed where Cane of Samaria is not required.
I see trying to get the spike suit here. Did a really good job on microwaving the shrimp, but wasn't able to pull off the spike suit. Hammer was at Dragon Missile.
Which, considering all the places it could have been, that one seemed to be a bit out of the way. And Cheeseinator having all kinds of trouble with getting that clip. And I thought they had it that time, but not quite. It's Apathy Duck now in Desert Palace. Everybody else still in Super Metroid. And there's Tempered Sword.
And Odyssey almost had to double back, almost walked away from Hammer, which would have been pretty devastating. Good thing he doubled back and checked that.
Yeah, that would have definitely been extremely costly. Now, judging by the situation that we're in, I do believe that if Canis Samaria is not required, then all Odyssey has to do is just clear out bosses. It would be a go mode situation if that's the case.
And what would you do in this situation? Would you just roll the dice and risk it?
At this point, honestly, why the heck not? Because Eastern would be a simple cleanup, although I wouldn't object to just dipping into Odd, but actually, I think I jumped the gun here because you do need Hookshot for Swamp. Getting a step ahead of myself, I am. It happens to all of us. If you've played a randomizer, you've done that.
Hitaka dispatching Phantoon. Cheeseinator taking care of Botchwoon. And Odyssey headed in towards, looks like almost nice.
Yep, I like this play because this will complete the 5-6 crystal set, so they'll be able to go for Big Bomb.
I think chat's on the right track. If you find Hookshot, you just go for it.
Yeah. Before then, I wouldn't go for it just yet, as Apathy Duck is in Skull Woods. Oh boy, barely cutting down that Wall Master before getting grabbed. There are a number of viable checks for that hook shot right now. But Apathy Duck, this time the Wall Master grabs him.
Not too big of a setback, though. He just goes back a couple of rooms.
As Cheeseinator almost skipped out on Hammer after picking it up, which would have been a disaster. As we are about to get a hype cave check. The hype level is going to be limited here, as we already have a lot of progression. That's a B-Twerp in a bottle. A missile, a second missile, a Book of Medora, that's interesting. And another missile. Now the book opens up a couple of checks and allows us to check pedestal, but not really hype. Is now Apathy Duck taking on Mothula. The way this fight works is that anytime Mothula is hit into the spikes, the damage is nullified, which is really annoying. But Apathy Duck made very short work of the Moth, as Odyssey is indeed routing this well. Taking care of Big Bomb right now. I like this play, as this also allows you to check Pyramid while you're right here, so it's really good routing. which is just 50 rupees on the pyramid. Dragon is down for Cheesinator, and the Pyramid Fairy has 5 rupees and a heart container. Bit of a letdown there.
Yeah, a bit disappointing. Looks like he's going to leave off Catfish for now and go for a little bit more item density. Don't really blame him for that.
Cheesinator picks up the energy tank off of the Dragon item. Well, I call it the Dragon item location, but it's really the space jump location. I do believe they're going for a short charge. They got it, but we're a bit too far to the left on the Shine Spark.
Yeah, chat pointing out we have not seen the East Death Mountain checks yet.
Yeah,
Hammer opening that up. There's a lot over there to be looked at.
Yeah, there's 8 locations to be picked up from chests, a 9th location that's visible, 2 more locations in Super Bunny Cave, and you can bonk to a location in Hookshot Cave, plus there's Spike Cave, and you could potentially open Turtle Rock, but you can't do anything inside there just yet because you don't have the cane.
Yeah, you're right, Sheephead. I don't even want to see Kane at this point.
Yeah, unless you want to see it in, say, the Armos in the Ganon's Tower big key chest, at which point you might need that to go right side. That would be obscure, but I could picture that happening.
Wow, that's not convoluted at all, brother.
Let's just say I've seen some stuff, but nothing that convoluted. Holy smokes, Batman.
Oh, and Cheese does not have his Moon Pearl yet.
Nope, has to go to Bomb Torizo to pick that up. So they might be up here thinking that Moon Pearl is up here, which, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it is possible, but it ain't up here. And Cheesinator just got dead rocked.
Worst enemy in the game, period.
In both games. I'll say that much.
Oh, cool. And a shovel in Thieves Town. Nothing like a good fetch quest. And it looks like Athlete Duck is skipping that 3rd chest.
Hataka is getting a refill at the ship. Never a bad idea. Right now, it looks like Apathy Duck is cleaning up Pennant Dungeons, trying to find the Hookshot. Sweet. Well, there's the space jump in Paradox Cave. That's a good find.
That's definitely going to help Cheese make up some lost time.
And it'll certainly make getting to the bow easier. Oh, we got a ped check. I did not see what it was, though. There's the ice rod.
Oh, Pet is dead, according to chat, and Ice Rod is something you just don't want to see right now.
Well, to be fair, we have not seen the Cane of Samaria, so as far as I'm concerned, that could be the game memeing by giving you a free Ice Rod when it's not even needed.
It's sad when that's best case scenario.
Itaka got the line up to get down both sides. Only needs the left side, though, for the Pegasus boots. The single rupee is getting left behind, as we are going to get a look at Magic Bat. Which is the Grapple Beam. We're not going to need that for anything this seed, but that's certainly an item you can have fun with, like, say, example, electrocuting Dragon.
Cheese has the distinction of being the one person that has found both of the items that I believe put X-ray in logic.
Yeah, that's the only thing Grapple Beam does at this point, but hey, so does Space Jump.
Alright, so Duck has Dispatch Blind. We got to look at that chest you skipped. Turned out the map was there, so once again, his instinct has proven correct.
Now, Hitaka is cleaning up locations we've already seen on the restream. Unfortunately, it's not going to get him anything, and that is a very quick piece of heart from the dig game. The way that works is that each seed, it's randomized between 1 and 30 digs to see when the item pops up, and in this case, it was definitely less. Now we're about to get our first look at the what the blacksmith has is Cheesinator. Gets the bow, already had the bow rather, and now has 2 extra missile packs.
After the Duck, meanwhile, has the distinction of being validated. And chat pointing out that Duck can't check hammer pegs.
Yep, because Apathy Duck has yet to pick up the hammer over by that Dragon missile. Can mirror to check the magic powder location, which logically would allow for hammer to be here. It's rare, but it can happen that way if the seed rolls that way. In this case, no, it's the Grapple Beam.
Has Duck done Hype Cave yet?
We've only seen one runner do Hype Cave at this point.
Okay, so he doesn't have book. He can't route in the Bombos tablet with the purple chest. Alright.
Now, actually, he can if he goes to Hype Cave, then turns it in, but he's going to do the exact opposite. Which is the fire shield. So shields aren't totally skippable, and unfortunately skipped his flight out. And Sick Kid is hoarding some dangerous weaponry.
Cheesinator, by virtue of having that space jump, has decided to go the long way around, but he's going to be disappointed here at the top of GT. Hitaka, meanwhile, doing the gate glitch at Wave Gate. Did he not pick up Wave Beam yet?
Doesn't look like it, which would mean by that virtue has not gone out to the Billy Mays area at all, and Cheesinator without Charge Beam is going to have to use Super Missiles to wear down Golden Torizo.
Meanwhile, Aussie has answered the question about what is at Hammer Pegs. It was just a +5 bombs, so Duck catches a break on that for not having Hammer. Meanwhile, he's checking the shovel spot and just got another pack of supers.
Even with Charge and Plasma, you cannot have enough Super Missiles, period.
No, they're pretty handy, you're right. Aussie, it looks like, is headed to Ice Palace.
Yep, I've been wondering as to when someone would make this play.
Also, just to point out, Ice Palace, I believe, is a crystal. This will be his 6th crystal.
So now Apathy Duck in Hype Cave picks up the book, as the first chest is the big key in Ice Palace.
Yeah, Hookshot in here is pretty much GG, while Red Cane in here is can of worms.
Yeah, Red Cane in here would be opening Pandora's box.
All right, so
Cheesinator's going to have an easier time with worst room in the game with Space Jump.
And Duck is checking that Bombos tablet now.
Not a bad idea. I mean, the book could be a red herring, but do you really want to take that chance with a tablet being close to where you got it? I say no.
Space Jump was
Paradox Cave.
Paradox Cave.
Yeah, Cheesinator is getting a bit of time back here versus Aussie because Aussie did not have Space Jump. Cheesinator does. That is one thing that Combo Rando can do, is force a very late Paradox Cave. Now, to get to this big chest without Hookshot, you have to do it the way the game intended you to do it, bomb through.
And it looks like Hitaka is about to finally get their Various suit. They'll be happy to see that.
And he's just doing some arm waving in frustration there.
So I'm going to say at this point, the only thing in Super Metroid we've not seen is X-Ray.
Oh no, we've had it. Yeah, we've had X-Ray, but not the X-Ray location. At this point, with us not having any inkling as to where Hookshot is, I would honestly check that. Especially with Space Jump, which is faster than using Grapple Beam. As Meanwhile, Aussie has taken down Cold Stare, which only had a small key.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I misspoke. I didn't mean X-ray the item. I did mean the X-ray location.
I figured
right.
I figured that after I had spoke, as now Hitaka's about to get a lift upgrade. Finally.
Cheese using that space jump screw attack as an effective farming tool. It works really well. Now, what is Aussie going to do now?
Going to Death Mountain. Possibly checking Dark Death Mountain. Opening and going into... No, not opening Turtle Rock. Excuse me. Can't do anything there unless you want to hover the whole dungeon, which, quite frankly, I don't even think Andy would go for that. As Hitaka finally gets Moon Pearl, and something tells me this Torizo is not going to be around to tell the tale.
Cheesinator, meanwhile, is taking on the Space Pelican. He's got plenty of ammo, so he should be all right. Does he not have... He does not have Charge Beam at this time.
He has enough ammo, but he's got to be careful. He's got to be accurate with his shots, and he already missed with one super, so he's going to have to finish him off with regular missiles or power bombs. Should be enough.
Zenny, I know that Aussie checked King's Tomb, and it was like nothing. Pretty sure that they got Bonk Rocks while they were...
Right now, I'm wondering if they got Graveyard Ledge.
No, I don't think so. Also, Aussie, by virtue of having the Moon Pearl, which Cheese did not, will be able to check Super Bunny Cave and get that bonk check in Hookshot Cave.
And you can still get through Super Bunny Cave by virtue of the glitch the cave is named for, the Super Bunny glitch, but that would be about it.
Yeah, Cheese opted not to do that, I believe. Well, probably because he does not yet have mitts.
And here goes Apathy Duck taking down the Armos Knights with the NMG kill. Nicely done. Nothing of note in Super Bunny Cave. And then after this, there is Spike Cave, which is in logic, courtesy of having not only the bottles, but your choice of Cape or Cane of Burna. Ooh, Aussie getting denied by the jelly. That enemy can be really rude sometimes, as that's just a missile, so nothing doing there. And Aussie is about to get Space Jump. That's going to come in handy. Yeah, I agree with the pod check here if anyone does do so. It's time consuming and it's risky, but you can get 5 items out of that dungeon as Aussie picks up half magic and the ice rod.
Yeah, I agree with you there on the pod check. It is time consuming, but those 5 items are a pretty good argument for doing it. Especially at this point.
Honestly, I thought I was looking at the Galaga starship where in that room where the energy tank was. It's a random thing to think about. When for a combo randomizer.
And Duck opting to go straight for the bomb jump. I don't blame him. Looks like Aussie is going to open up Meyer.
Yep, and he's blessed the entrance of Meyer with not a frozen bird, but a roasted bird.
That's an interesting call by Aussie. 2 items here.
And it's worth noting that you can get in to Meyer without Hookshot by bonking your way in. Still have to execute Meyer 2 and all that other stuff. But it's done. And Mickey Mouse missiles had a bottle.
Okay, Aussie got the big key out of the spike chest, so he's full bore to do all the upper check.
Now that would be a Godmire if this were that situation, but we're looking for items, so that's not what we're after.
And chat bringing up, you can check Swamp. You can check the front of it.
Yeah, that would be dirty if that were the case, because honestly, when you have a complicated randomizer such as this, who expects vanilla?
Duck zipping through Lower Norfair on his way to Ridley, not finding much. Cheese is headed over to Shack Tool, where he's going to be disappointed. And Hitaka is making his way through Desert.
I'm more interested in what's going to be coming up in Meyer, because it could be our go mode, it could be nothing. Jury's out. But either way, once Aussie does hit go mode, they still have to take down Phantoon, and then they'll be able to go and take on Mother Brain.
Apparently, though, Aussie making the correct call to leave Wreck Ship off. A go mode Wreck Ship is always a help.
You don't typically expect it, especially in a randomizer setting, but that definitely saves a lot of time versus going through all of it. As Apathy Duck now taking on Ridley.
Funny enough, for a randomizer, it seems in these that more often than not, Wreck Ship doesn't really have a lot. When it has something that's nice, and it's usually a couple of items, but most of the time, Wreck Ship doesn't really hold much, it seems.
So it's 1 check left for Meyer. It's the map chest, and it has 20 rupees. So that's both items for Misery Meyer, and Meyer is barren.
So thus far, we know that Pet is dead. We know that Misery Meyer is dead. I'd point out, didn't Aussie go mode Ice? Did he get all the items out of Ice?
I think so, but right now chat is suspecting what I suspect. It's Swamp or Pod, and right now it looks like Aussie is going for the vanilla/French vanilla play.
Oh, first he's going to check that Bombos tablet and find no help.
Yeah, it makes sense to check that while you're in the area.
Duck making his way out after he made short work of Ridley. Hitaka just getting into GT, it looks like. No, he's defeated GT. He's doing the shine spark. Right, okay. And Cheese is leaving Plasma. Oh, and is he going to take Forgotten Highway to wreck ship?
That is a very interesting strategy, because we do not typically see a whole heck of a lot of Forgotten Highway. Meanwhile, Aussie is in Swamp Palace. That is just an aero capacity upgrade at the lower North Fair E-Tank. And there's the Cane of Samari as the first item in Swamp, so now I have to ask this. After Swamp, do you go right back to Mire, take out Vitreous and Turning Green Pendant, or are you running to Turtle Rock?
I'm going to Turtle Rock.
Chad also points out that Pod is an option. This is definitely a what would you do type of scenario, and right now Aussie is sticking with Swamp. Maybe playing on the theory that Cane of Samari is bait and the actual item is here. It's certainly worth trying, because you're already here, might as well.
Yeah, plus, you know, he does left side. He can mirror out, so he doesn't have to worry about the return trip.
Nope, not even doing left side, because what I was going to mention about left side is to get both checks in the same trip, you'd have to go up the stairs twice, which is a bit of a pain in the you-know-what, but now I'm confused as to what Aussie is doing.
Did he not check K45?
Doesn't look like it. Yeah, he definitely didn't do it. Because meanwhile, Cheeseinator is about to take on Phantoon, which with Microwave Beam is going... Well, wait, no charge. Microwave Beam would make it short. Ooh, that's a fast start. Just firing missiles, hoping for a fast, but didn't get it, so it's going to be a fast, slow.
Also, has Aussie checked Spike Cave yet?
I don't think anybody has checked Spike Cave. As Hitaka's taking on Ridley.
Cheese dealing with Phantoon. Those two has given us a couple of stereo boss fights.
Cheeseinator has finished off Phantoon. That's all 4 Super Metroid bosses for Cheeseinator, which gives access to Mother Brain.
Wait, has anybody checked Ether Tablet?
Nope. Oh, it was? Okay, I missed it. and it's ether to get in, but Boss 8 does not have it. Wow.
Ether is in wrecked ship, isn't it?
Yep, that was like the one thing in wrecked ship. Otherwise, wrecked ship was no value. And Spike Cave was a narrow capacity upgrade, so that's a bust. So wrecked ship might have been the keys to go mode if Turtle Rock has Hookshot.
Well, there's still pod, like Link was saying, but Aussie is heading to wrecked ship.
Yeah, he hasn't been there yet. He hasn't cleared it out. He knows he needs ether to get there into TR, although from a routing standpoint, the reason why I would have done Mire before Pod is you can turn Green Pendant in on your way to Pod. So there was a method to the madness there.
No, I totally agree with you. That would have been a good routing decision. I didn't even think.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to think about when it comes to a combo randomizer seed.
So let's take stock of where we're at here. Aussie has 6 crystals. He's about to kill his last boss. He will find ether here in wrecked ship when he full clears it, but he doesn't yet have Hookshot. Duck still has. Is that Dragon? What does he still have to do?
Dragon, which he needs to do because that's where the hammer is. He's about to pick up the Quake medallion, which isn't going to do him any good because we know it's not required. Although Quake does have some cool combat options in Ice Palace for when you don't have Tempered or Hookshot. Not going to be seeing those.
Aussie doing a quick little microwave to Phantoon there. Nicely done.
You can only do that in Randomizer, which is unfortunate because that's such a cool kill. We still haven't seen the X-ray item, have we?
And interestingly enough, right now the only 2 people that can get to it are in wrecked.
Apathy Duck taking a reset because the sand pits for this seed have absolutely nothing. And Link Force is right. Anyone with Grapple Beam can get the X-ray scope. Rather, the item location.
Oh, my mistake. I was looking on the tracker. You're right. I didn't notice Duck had grapple beam.
No, we haven't. Nobody's been out to that particular item location. Apathy Duck is on their way to Dragon, which will be, fortunately for him, the hammer. It is worth noting that there are two different ways to get to Dragon. One of them is the way Apathy Duck is going. The other way involves going to where the Ice Rod Cave is in the Dark World, which is a portal to the back of Meridia, which avoids Shack Tool. See, that's where what's holding back Cheesinator and this seed is that by not going to bomb Torizo, they have not found the Moon Pearl, which they are still looking for. Cheesinator just got the Ether Medallion. It was at Wrecked Ship Reserve. So bowling was required in this seed.
Honestly, getting a taste of Robot Room.
But what Chad is alluding to is, well, anybody who's played a randomizer has done it. They've alienated one location with their routing, and it's the one they absolutely have to go to. Happens to everyone who plays a rando.
Okay, so Cheese, it looks like it's headed down.
Getting warmer, I'll say that much.
All right, and Hataka confirming that there's nothing at Bonk Rocks. I was pretty sure it had been checked, but I didn't know. And here's Graveyard Lead,
which I'm questioning if it has been checked, to be honest. I mean, it's very easy to leave a check behind in this rando. That's supers, which Hataka's not interested in at the moment. As Aussie gets the Ether Medallion, will now be able to go back to Turtle Rock, although probably should check X-Ray just to be safe.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure at this point that would be the only location in Super Metroid that Aussie has not seen.
It's the only location we haven't seen in Super Metroid, but that is about to change.
Yeah, same. I've got that gotta get them all fever thing going.
Yep, same here. Probably won't do another hundo run until I do something about my controller. It's been acting up lately, and that is a piece of heart. It is not X-ray location, so we can confirm the item that we need for Go Mode is in A Link to the Past.
And I believe that means it's either in Pod or it's in Turtle Rock or on that green pendant.
Yep, it's one of those three. We don't know which of the three, but we know it's one of the three.
Oh, Link Force, making a good point. Catfish.
Wow. We had forgotten about the fish that causes the earthquakes. If it were a catfish, it would be safe to say that, no pun intended, we all got catfished. And chat bringing up another good point, as when Aussie went into swamp, they bailed before going to left side.
That is correct. And hey, here's Apathy Duck going into Turtle Rock. So we have new checks coming in.
Not so fast. They're just opening it for now. They don't have Canis Samaria.
Ah, my bad.
Like I said, there's a lot of stuff to keep track of with this randomizer, and it's very easy for something to get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, I'm old and my eyes aren't good. But see, I have the advantage of being able to claim senior moment when I just screw up like that. So,
yeah, me, I just claim brain farts, but that's just me.
while waiting for him to check, I hope y'all are enjoying this. I'm Ancient Gamer. You can call me AG. My commentary partner here, Leslie Pro. You're watching the Super Metroid Link to the Past combo randomizer race. Our very talented and knowledgeable tracker is Link Force. Follow those guys. Not me, I'll bore the hell out of you, but follow them.
Cheeseinator checks Billy Mays. That's not it. Apathy Duck charges right into a jelly that was electrified.
No, I can't see Aussie going back to Meridia except under worst case scenario. He's got Turtle Rock on the brain.
Cheeseinator's getting into the right ballpark now.
Duck is finding his space jump, half magic, ice rod, Itaka in Skull, which we've seen all of Skull Woods, I believe. But here we go. Aussie opening up Turtle Rock, and he can progress.
Cheeseinator getting Tempered Sword before Moon Pearl. Which I find interesting because once Cheeseinator does get that Moon Pearl, there's going to be a lot of dungeons to go through on the Link to the Past side. So he's basically going to become a Z3R seed for lack of better definition.
And here we go. Check number one, Turtle Rock is
20 rupees. Hitaka's got something else on the brain. Bumper Cave, but that's just missiles, so that is not it either.
Duck is checking Spike Cave. We know that's not the answer. Cheeseinator just picking up his charge beat.
Not a bad pickup, but that's not what he needs right now. I'm not sure why Bomb Torizo has yet to be looked at, but that's where they need to go.
Aussie being victimized by muscle memory went the route that you go if you have Hookshot to do that torch puzzle.
That happens to all of us. Although the way Aussie had to do it, due to the lack of having Hookshot, that's actually the way that I had to do it when I first beat this game. All those years ago. Yes, I'm getting up there in years myself. That spin takes the Pokey out very easily into the Chain Chomp room, which is one of the worst rooms in this particular game. I don't care if you're doing NMG or Rando, those Chain Chomps hit you hard and they are not fun.
Yeah, those guys are Tronex's VIPs for sure.
Yeah. Or as Aussie Sprite for the Super Metroid side of this would say, bad doggy. I do keep a few vocal impersonations on hand just in case they become applicable, and that one from Luigi's Mansion certainly is, as I see a Yoshi.
And Lava Chest having just a rupee. So,
yep, big key chest, nothing.
I'm almost hoping Duck goes straight across here and goes ahead and gets Catfish so we can see if that...
Well, that's my luck right there, OMS, because, yeah, leave it at that. But we are about to get a Mimic Cave check. Sometimes this has something, sometimes this does not. We shall see. And Mimic Cave had the red meringue, so both boomerangs have been accounted for, but that's not what we're looking for.
Oh, he's doing it. Duck is headed on over. We're going to get a look at Catfish, I think.
Was Aussie just trying to hover? Or was I mistaken? Never mind. Okay, so I wasn't seeing things. Crystal Roller Chest having super missiles, and Catfish, this is the moment of truth. An energy tank. Our runners did not get catfished.
All right, so now we're down to Turtle Rock, the green pennant off Misery Mire, left side swamp, and Pod, I believe.
Sounds about right to me.
And is Laser Bridge once again the answer? It's almost a cliche now.
Well, we found the key. Power bomb? Not quite yet. Here's the hookshot! The laser bridge was required behind the Cane of Samaria. Aussie 101 is in go mode for both games.
And that is just nasty.
That's about as nasty as a... Think of anything unpleasant? Yeah. Probably compares. I will leave it at that. Meanwhile, Cheesinator opting to go through Turian. Now, they can do this because they have the ability to go through here. However, Torizo is where the Moon Pearl is. However, the escape sequence does not finish when you beat Super Metroid first.
I'm afraid that Cheese has forgotten about Bomb Torizo.
Well, that could happen too, like I say about well, I've said it once, I'll say it again. Anyone who's played a randomizer has completely forgotten about a location. Heck, I forgot about Ice Rod Cave in a Z3R Challenge Cup qualifier recently, and that had the lamp. Wound up doing the scene lampless. We got the boots that are in Gauntlet. And the Moon Pearl, that's... Ugh. This seed had some nasty item location.
Yeah, boots were required for desert. There's the big key was on the toy. So Ataka carrying his purple chest. Cheese is slowly but steadily making his way to Mother Brain. He messed up the Zeb skip, but he's going to reset the room.
Zeb skips is one of those I haven't been able to figure out. Misses it again and is still trying for it, but is not getting a good fortune here.
Yeah, Stargazer. Aussie doesn't need to open the chest. He's got the full beam combo. He's got red mail, silver's tempered sword. Nah, he doesn't need anything.
Yeah, at this point he got this. So with that, let's start taking a guess to see where the GT Big Key is going to show up. And get a little extra time to get those numbers 1 through 22 in because Aussie just got dead rocked.
I would say 13. Oh, Stargazer got my number. 17. No, there's Sheephead. Sheephead picked one. All right, 18.
No, Peter got that one.
What the? 7.
That works. And Cheeseinator now taking on Mother Brain.
Ataka gonna check Hype Cave, get his book, which as it turns out doesn't really do that much.
Cheeseinator dodges the catch-up. And is now in position to take the hit.
I see at this point looking like he's running about 240, 245 pace.
Yeah, I was thinking about 245, maybe 250, but I could be wrong. A A lot of it depends on the Ganon Tower Big Key location. Although, what I would like to see for Combo Rando is where hard logic also includes hard logic for not for either Super Metroid and or Link to the Past, because I could see that being very interesting.
Yeah, Super Metroid Randomizer is a thing now.
I honestly did not know that. That's because honestly, that's the first I'm hearing of it. Meanwhile, chest 4. Well, we're up to 6. No big key yet. 7. We got a big old rupee horde.
All right, I'm out. I'm glad you remembered to keep track because I forgot completely about it.
I was focusing on Mother Brain for a second. I'm like, wait. Slow your roll. 8 super missile. That puts me out.
Yeah, the problem with Super Metroid Randomizer is that a death in Super Metroid hurts a lot more than a death in Link to the Past. That's just the way it is.
Oh, yeah, there is no doubt about that, because a death in Super Metroid can be an absolute run killer. And speaking of killers, Cheeseinator has killed Mother Brain. Does have to make the escape, though, but only to a certain point.
Chest 9, meanwhile, another small key. $10 power bombs, 11 a heart piece, 12 more rupees, and 13 just 10 arrows. So we're still going.
Speaking of going, Cheeseinator is on their way out, and will soon probably. Hey, his Apathy Duck takes a death, has a fairy though, and it was. On to Ice Armos.
All right, so Cheeseinator actually gets the first G as he has defeated Mother Brain. And it looks like he is going to finally do these other couple of criteria checks.
Aussie did find the big key. I did not see what number, but it was definitely Ice Armos.
Was it the last chest, Felfarin? Because that would be 16. Okay, so 16 is the winner. Wow, Cheese is going to get his
And
Titan's
Apathy
Mix.
Duck has just totally glitched the heck out of the graphics. Well, or had. Well, this is going to be some bad news for Cheeseinator. Any reaction to such a late Moon Pearl? I mean, that statue is going to come alive, and you're going to be able to take your frustrations out on it. I guess that's the only good news about that situation. Oh, one-shot Hyper Beam.
Wow, but think about that. The last 2 items, is that all for him? No, he's still got some Super Metroid to do. But a 2.5 hour Mitts and Moon Pearl at back to back.
Yeah, I mean, there's still Boots and Gauntlet, so that would be, I think, the last main item. And then they can basically just go for Link to the Past stuff from that point on.
Aussie, meanwhile, is heading into Lamellus, too. Duck looks like has opted to do pod. We know there's not going to be much help for him in there. Really nice Lamella kill by Aussie.
And one cycle of that always looks good, and Cheesinator just saw the bad news. Well, sometimes the routing you pick in these randos just does not work out, and it's the nature of the beast. As Sataka picks up Space Jump. Nice fire rod dash from Aussie. I think Aussie is going to be fine here because with powder, you're able to powder the anti-fairies, and that covers you for health. Well, the anti-fairy and the bunny portal. I'm not sure what Aussie is setting up for here.
The hover.
Now, it looked like maybe some sort of crazy bomb jump. Okay, this is pause buffering. And he made it! Wow!
Okay,
that was impressive. Moldorm Bounce is what it's called. Wow. Meanwhile, not to be outdone, Apathy Duck hits Hammer Young. So how's the agonometry tonight? It's all three back. I'm going to have to remember that one.
That was nice a tailor-made triple right there.
Ooh, almost had a double triple, but one shot went wide. That's still a 3-cycle, 2-3, 3-2-1. That was beautiful. And with that, Aussie is going to be the first of our runners to head into fight Ganon.
With Tempered and Silvers, he should make pretty short work of this, I would imagine.
Yeah, meanwhile, Ganon's complaining that Aussie didn't bring food, acting like Ganon was actually the enemy that wanted the food in Zelda 1 First Quest Level 7, which is what that's a reference to.
Thank you, I did not know that.
And that is a yes to where we got the arrows. Bit of a misfire as an arrow went astray, but we're all set. And with that, we got bacon as down goes Ganon. That's 1G for Aussie. And he will soon be going after the other one. So Apathy Duck about to finish pod. It's a sound play to dive hard in this situation due to the dungeon's item density, it's just that one seed where it's not going to work out. Again, that's the nature of Randomizer. Sometimes the sound plays do not work out.
Yeah, when you've got one that's a mandatory double dip in swamp, that's just easy.
Yeah, the amount of double dips you have to do sometimes on these seeds, I agree, are quite evil. And no one really wants to double dip Swamp Palace because it takes time to drain the water on each visit. So the one time you go there, you want that to be the one time you have to go there. Taka going for Ice Palace Bomb Jump has a bit of trouble with the first attempt. Gets it second time. Second try. It's been a long day.
Duck taking on Helmasaur. Aussie going through Metroid room number 1. He should not have much trouble with this. He has got a ton of ammo and health. Yeah, exactly, Stargazer. Double dip swamp for pendant TR. Hookshot on laser bridge. That's rude.
Very. The Taka's about to do a reverse Ice Palace Bomb Jump. Good strategy if you can pull it off, but it's not going to yield anything.
Nicely done. Yes, Zenny. Yes.
I will second that, as I have played a Link to the Past Random Seed where a triple dip of pod was once needed. And logic has also called for triple dips in other seeds, but there was a way around it. That was one that I could get to. Now, Apathy Duck is heading into Swamp Palace. This is going to be important for him because Cane of Samaria is going to be the first step.
I had one that was a triple dip in Turtle Rock. Hook shot in the first chest to get Fire Rod off of Argus, to go back into Turtle Rock, do the torch puzzle to get Bow, to get Ice Rod off of Helmasaur.
That's disgusting.
Coincidentally enough, I was disgusted.
Sake, all I'm going to say is that is disgusting. That's all I'm going to say about that right now.
And Aussie doing the speed Zeb skip. Nicely done there. Duck finding his red cane. Now let's see. Is he going to peace out? No, he's going to keep going.
Can't blame him. Because you really do not want to mess with, like I said, you really don't want to try to not double dip a dungeon like Swamp. Unfortunately, it's a hard double dip. You have to. Meanwhile, Aussie 101 taking on Mother Brain. For the back end of the seed, this will be 20 shots charged with the full power beam. And then we'll be on to the end of the game.
Aussie setting up for the stand-up glitch, it looks like. Looks like he's going to get it, not much problem. Unless he wants to play around.
It looks like he does got it. So bouncing out after left side swamp was definitely the smart play for Apathy Duck. Now the play to make here would be to check all of Turtle Rock, which makes sense.
And Aussie starting that series of shots on Mother Brain, which is the entire advantage of the stand-up glitch. Still doing damage, significantly reduces the number of hyper beam shots you have to do. You can actually totally defeat Mother Brain if you can get 40 shots in during this section, but it's actually a longer animation than if you do 39 and then finish her off with one hyper beam shot.
That would explain why the runners who go for this strat only do 39 shots. And you can soft lock doing this, or so I've heard.
Yeah, there's a couple of ways. You can't have a shot on the screen when the beam changes to hyper beam. There's also another couple of ways you can soft lock positioning of the baby and being turned the wrong way, being forced into a kneel, slide you into Mother Brain and kill you. But the most common way is having the shot on the screen.
And Chet pointed out we had a red Luigi on the screen. I didn't realize Mario was standing in for a moment. So as Apathy Duck is going through Turtle Rock, Itaka and Pod and Cheeseinator heading to Swamp, Aussie 101 is on their way to finishing this off.
Demonstrating how even when you're a talented runner, escape without high jump can suck.
Mm-hmm.
Just a couple more jumps and then the dash over the wreck ship. Unless he decides to save the animals,
Nah,
which he is not.
Yeah, Aussie is going for the finish. And with that, gets on the ship, and that'll do it. Luigi taking off from Zebus.
Aussie 101 has finished in first place with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 42 minutes, 37 seconds. GG to him.
GG's indeed. That was a very well played seed from Aussie 101.
And thank you to Link Force for stepping in at the last minute there and doing the tracking. Appreciate you, brother. I know you got to get some sleep, so you have a good night.
Yeah, have a good night, dude. We are now joined in chat in the call by Aussie. GG, well played on the scene.
GG. It's a good seed, but I got pretty lucky there. Yeah.
Sometimes that's all it takes is a bit of luck in randomizer, and you just take off.
Yeah, like, what was it? By the time I got Hammer, like, I was trying to figure out if this could be a world record seed, like, which is just a low 2-hour finish. But then I just couldn't find the hook shot that set me back.
Yeah, what happened with the hook shot, it was just a case of game put it in a real victory spot.
Yeah, that's
And behind King of Samari in swamp, so you had a hard double dip of Swamp Palace on top of it.
yeah, that was as bad a hookshot placement as you can get.
Still, you played it very well. I have to give you that, especially on the swag strats. Extra points for that. I did have a question for you. Did you make the conscious decision to skip catfish?
Yeah, I
thought as much.
When I did Pyramid Fairy, I was focusing on like crystals and fast checks. So there was Hype Cave was 5 items, and Pyramid Fairy is a good logical check with this red crystal layout. Then after that, I went right to Crystal Dungeons. And then Catfish was kind of on its own after that.
Well, it was definitely a winning strategy for you. I gotta say, Apathy Duck actually started out in the lead, but did not get Varia and Wave Beam like you did. So you pretty much took over at the point where you got Morph Ball from Croc and continued on with your checks. That was pretty much the turning point there, and you've been in the lead ever since.
Yeah, that the early game was real rough. Last location mirror. Went into Eastern for nothing, and then there wasn't much in Zelda at all. But the Varia was a nice find, and then knowing where the glove was at Desert helped my routing. So I was going to just do the Bryn Loop and then a high jumpless lava dive to get that glove. See if I could skip the... Well, I was expecting high jump to be required, and it was an Agassiz. But then I got gravity on the way, and so it just worked out.
Yeah, early on, I was thinking that might have been the case with the high jump being on Aga Ledge. That's interesting. You were going to do the high jumpless lava dive. That's good. I guess you had enough energy, though. I can see where you'd go with that.
Yeah,
meanwhile, Apathy has... Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Apathy has found his hook shot, and I believe that puts him in go mode at this point.
Yep, I can confirm that is a go mode.
Go ahead, Ossie. What were you saying then? I apologize for interrupting you. I didn't mean.
I was just saying that high jumpless lava dive is a risky trick. Like, even if you can do it, there's a chance that something goes wrong, and then you die and you're really set back. You just can lose a lot of time on it easily.
Yeah, what was it? Apathy was losing time. He took a couple of deaths trying to get Fire Rod, because when he found it, he went in with, I think he had, what, 2 E-tanks, and that was about it, worth of health.
Where was Fire Rod?
Crumble Shaft, underneath Ice Beam location.
Okay, yeah. I remember not seeing the item icon, because my sprite was over top of it when I picked it up.
Speaking of your sprite, this is one thing I wanted to ask, because I noticed this right away that you were using a custom sprite. Since when has that been a thing with Combo Rando? Or at least the Super Metroid side.
It was shown for combo first, but now it's used for Super Metroid itself, just as easily. It's been a number of months now, at least half a year.
I just haven't seen too many combos where custom sprites get used, so that's really cool that that's a thing.
Yeah, right now it's not properly supported in the seed generating website, but that's something they're doing in the next version. So it'll be easier for people to play custom sprites when the next version comes out. Or in multi-world. I think it's
Well,
in multi-world already.
Yeah, that'll be something to look forward to for sure, whenever that may be. But yeah, the opening of this seed was about as stingy as I've seen, where it just bottlenecked really hard. Can't say I've ever seen that before.
Well, first item I found was Screw Attack, and that's why I need to follow, but it's always really risky following Screw Attack, and if there's nothing there, you just lose a lot of time. So, like, I fit in some half checks for the screw items, but they didn't have anything, so I just ended up last location in Mirror and Varia Wave. Yeah, big decider is just that the Kanon swamp, and that was pure gamble.
Question for you: if Kane had not been in Swamp, would you have gone and finished Meyer to get the green pendant, or would you have headed to Paul?
I guess you mean Kane is just somewhere with high density. Then I would have done Pod. Like, the Kane had a lot of value, specifically because it was in the first chest of Swamp.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is if you had not found it in Swamp, what would you have done from them? But I get what you're saying. You'd have went with the item density, which is pretty much what I would have done.
If I didn't find Kane in Swamp, I was gonna do Dark Village and Smith Chain, and then Wreck Ship, and then Pod. Something like that.
Did you get worried at all when you saw Ether on Turtle Rock?
Yeah, I was worried for ever since I dipped Meyer, like that whole stretch up until I found Hookshot. Because I was off Run and Pendants and Hookless Swamp when I still had good checks out there that could have the Hookshot. Yeah, seeing Ether at Turtle Rock felt pretty bad. But it was just in a available location. So that put the Turtle Rock back as a good logical play.
Although, to be fair, it could have been worse. What Cheeseinator did is clear all of Super Metroid and defeat Mother Brain before going back for the Omega Missile location for the Titans Mitts, Moon Pearl at Bomb Torizo. So sometimes your routing just does not work out, depending on the seed.
Well, this seed was pretty good for full clearing Super Metroid first, I think. Like, as long as you don't miss your glove at Desert. Like, full clearing all of Super Metroid would have worked pretty well.
Meanwhile, we've got Apathy Duck in Ganon's Tower, with Hitaka making the play to head to Swamp.
Yep. I see. Well, GG, man. I don't know if you're going to be. Excuse me one more time. I have to put my son to bed. I will be right back. But GG, well played, man.
Absolutely, it was a very well played seed, and one where I learned some things about Super Metroid just watching this, which is what makes this a treat. Because you never know what you're going to see, and sometimes you learn something new. And I'd say tonight I definitely did.
Yep. It was fun. So yeah, thanks to Leslie and AG, who's now gone, I think. But thanks for commentating, and thanks to Speed Gaming for giving me a place to show off these tricks and all that.
It was our pleasure, and it was certainly a fun one to watch. That's for sure. And GG's, by the way, before I forget. It's been late and I worked the weekend, so needless to say, I'm a bit tired, but still going. As Ataka just came up with the Cane of Samaria. In Swamp, still going for a bit. We've got Cheeseinator also going through Thieves Town. And Hitaka appears to be, what's this? Going to left side swamp. Can't say I don't blame them for doing this, but left side we already know isn't going to have anything, but these are still new checks all the same. As for Cheeseinator, a blind fight with a pretty lame pun, admittedly. Cheeseinator takes blind down for crystal number 5. Apathy Duck tearing through Gauntlet. What will Hitaka find on left side swamp? That is the question. A compass. And one more trip up as Apathy Duck now takes on Land Mode 2, and it's a good pattern, gets the one cycle. As for the digging game, it was not very many digs earlier. It was only 8. And the only thing on left side swamp was 20 rupees. And Cheeseinator opting to go for the Smith chain, which for routing for me with this setup, Smith chain routes pretty well in heading towards Swamp House, but that's just me. Taka, I believe, is going to check the pedestal, going to get news that it is not required because it is just a piece of heart. And Apathy Duck going for Moldorm 2, gonna go for a hover. Doesn't get it. Lands in a spike too. Ouch, that's just painful. While Cheesinator gets a single crafted arrow. Second attempt at the hover. Ooh, got halfway and then fell. And based off this movement, Hitaka is heading for Turtle Rock. Oh, but this time Apathy Duck gets Troll Dormed instead of a hover. Apathy Duck's just gonna go for the take Moldorm, or rather take Trolldorm out strategy, which makes sense. It's just gonna leave Moldorm's last possessions there. That was amazing to see earlier, by the way. Also, worth noting for Combo Rando, you get different RNG patterns per individual game. It's not set like it is for standalone Link to the Past Rando. So, you could get some interesting combinations. Apathy Duck does have to be careful, though, low on health at 1.5 hearts.
I think he's got a handle.
Him too.
Thanks for covering me, man. I appreciate it. Sorry. 10-year-olds are a little bit resistant to bedtime sometimes.
Sounds like me when I was a kid. But that's another story for another time. As Cheesinator checking the Bombos tablet coming out of the purple chest check, which is a pretty good time for checking that. Didn't pan out though.
Feel kind of bad for Cheese because, like you said, the way he got Mitts and Moon Pearl, now it was just a wide open Zelda-thon that he had.
Yeah, speaking of, there was a Zelda-thon recently that wrapped up a few days ago. Opting to go for Ice Palace. Not a bad play when you consider all things, but Apathy Duck takes a hit again, and that Hyrule driver's gonna be a death.
And Bressingham Voigt has finished in second place with an official SRL time of 3 hours, 3 minutes, and 24 seconds. GG to him. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the SRL channel. Well done, bro.
Well done indeed. As Hitaka is in Turtle Rock, this is the play to make.
How about that hookshot location, huh?
Looks like Apathy Duck's going for silverless strats, even with silvers?
That's an interesting choice.
Got a very good rhythm going. Well, until that hit. He just realized it and switched over to silvers. And with that, down goes Ganon for Apathy Duck, so that's 1G for him, and he'll soon be on his way to the other one.
Hitaka, meanwhile, has finished Mimic Cave. Heading on down, he will be collecting his hookshot soon. Are we going to get Bress in here for an interview?
I believe it's only the Restream runners that get in for interviews. I could be wrong, though. I have been wrong before. I was certainly wrong about football this weekend, I'll leave it at that. So here goes Apathy Duck into Turian. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. Ammo's good. Beams are good. Health is good. And Hitako's Mirror Shield's going to make Laser Bridge much easier than it would be otherwise. And with that, Hookshot pickup enters Go Mode. Uh-oh, the Metroid's caught up to Apathy Duck. Does get him off of the bomb, though.
Cheese opting for the bomb jump.
Nicely done. Is Apathy Duck going to set up for a baby skip here? Because they're not setting up for losing health.
No, he is. He is running in to lose health. He's jumping up. Baby skip is virtually impossible without high jump boot.
Fair enough. Well, that is fair. And Ice Palace was where the mushroom was. Not that it's going to turn into anything helpful, mind you. The Aussie does bring up one good point in chat. By logic, Ice Palace was locked by both Canis Samaria and the Hookshot, so the quickest way through the dungeon was definitely a bomb jump. Got Apathy Duck going for... was attempting to go for a speed type of Zeb skip, but not able to get it. Does he get it this time? Almost, not quite.
That's a really tight short charge.
Got it. Nicely done.
And Cheeseinator making short work of Cold Stare. Meanwhile, Hitaka is bearing down on Argus. And Apathy about to start his final fight here with Mother.
Which with full beam is pretty trivial in terms of offensive output. As Hitaka's now taking on Argus. Got ketchup, but with this health, that is of a little concern.
It looks like Cheese is about to head into the swamp.
It's the right play to make. As Hitaka has finished off.
And Duck doing the more dangerous setup for stand-up glitch. Because if you get caught on the ground, not only can you get in trouble, you can be too far left for the baby to really latch on to.
I think that's the first time I've seen Mother Brain miss a shot during stand-up glitch.
All right, and Cheese has found his red cane. He is peacing out. Now, which way is he going to go? Misery Mire or Turtle Rock? And it looks like he has made the correct call. He is going to go to Turtle Rock. So he is going to be experiencing go mode here directly. Hitaka, meanwhile, climbing up in the GT. And Apathy Duck about a minute away from being finished. I'm sure he's glad. Really nice stand up there from Apathy, by the way. Hitaka opting for right side first. We know that's not going to pay off for him. And Apathy Duck on the home stretch also choosing not to save the animals, which is the right call. Finishing up with an official SRL time of 3 hours, 14 minutes, 18 seconds in third place. GG to him. Cheesinator starting his run through Turtle Rock, opting to do the right side first. And we have Apathy Duck join us now. GG. Good game. Any thought? I don't know if you have yourself muted or not, but I cannot hear you.
Neither can I.
Is that better?
There you go.
Works.
Hey, you have to plug in your mic. What I was saying is I was hanging out with Solsky yesterday, and he gave me his Vision Infinity Stone. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm pretty sure it's out of a box of Cracker Jacks, because this thing doesn't work at all.
Well, man, I'll tell you, you jumped out into the lead early. You had the right idea.
I can't.
Go ahead.
I said I can't believe I had a lead at any point during that.
Yeah, what got you was you didn't have your Varia when you went and got your Morph Ball.
Well,
and you took those couple of deaths getting Fire Rod, and that's where Aussie pulled ahead of you.
Yeah, honestly, even if I had Varia there, I don't think I would have stuck around in Upper North. I mean, it's hell. It's hard. Varia means nothing in hard mode, which is why it's annoying. Like, you have your 5 E-tanks and you find Varia, and it's like, this opens nothing. So, like, Varia means so little in hard mode that it's hard to read. The main thing was I just found that Morph Ball, and then I just wanted to, head up and just do the normal stuff. Decided to do Bryn before Wreck Ship. When Aussie finished and I was in Turtle Rock, I'm like, okay, I was pretty sure when I was looking for the hammer and Hookshot, I was like, one of them is going to lead the other on Death Mountain. So as soon as I found hammer in Precious Room, I was like, okay, I'm going straight to Death Mountain. I'm not going to check Plasma or Shacto or any of that. And then nothing was in Death Mountain, and I'm like, okay, I have no idea now. I just started clearing everything. And finally, I felt like Pod was a better play than Swamp. And then when I found that Cane in Swamp, like, I was pretty sure it was going to be in Turtle Rock then at that point. And then Aussie Finish was in Turtle Rock. I'm like, okay, I Cosmic Brain this, obviously. But I couldn't figure out where it could have been at that point to make sense. Like, I know he'll always do the X-Ray D-boost, but if he did that early, he would have been done like at 220 or something. Because besides those last 2 items, the seed was free. So I'm just I don't know when he went into Swamp, but it seemed like fairly early.
He checked Meyer first. He had not gone to Wreck Ship, so he checked Swamp next and found that red cane, and he went straight up to Turtle Rock, but he did not yet have Ether. So when he saw he didn't have Ether, he pieced out and went to Wreck Ship, found it, straight back to Turtle Rock, and of course, as you know, got the hook shot from Laser Bridge.
Yeah, I was hoping that, because Wreck Ship was nothing, and I was hoping that Ether was going to be something, and then when I saw Meyer and Turtle Rock were both pendants, I was like, well, that's a giant waste of time. I almost had the most Cosmic Brain play ever, because I saw the high jump boots up on Lumberjack, and I was still looking for like Dark World access, and I was like, well, I can get the Fire Rod, which means I can do Aga and get the high jump boots, and then I can go down to Lower Norfair and go get the mitts to sequence break Aga. Oh wait, that doesn't make any sense. Like, I was legitimately thinking about doing that for a minute. Like, wait a minute, like, sequence breaking, doing Aga to sequence break Aga would be quite the thing.
Yeah, that double dip there in Swamp was pretty nasty.
Yeah, I mean,
you're right. Except for the last time, the seed was pretty free. But that little twist at the end, I was with you when I saw the high jump boots at Agaledge. I was like, you know, it may require them to do the gravity jump in the lower Norfair to get those mitts. That's what I was thinking at that point.
Yeah, I mean, unless I'm missing something, the gravity jump was. Well, no, I guess it wasn't, right? Because you could get the. Yeah, you could have done Meridia. I mean, the smart thing in this seed was to do, like, once you got that gravity suit, if you had scouted Desert, you're going to do the gravity jump to Lower Norfair. You're not going to go do Meridia because Meridia is slow and everyone hates it. So, and you think, okay, your gloves are your Dark World access. Like, I mean, going to Meridia was the quote-unquote correct thing to do, at least for the way the seed want you to play it, but, like, I can't see anyone, or I can't see why you would make that. If you didn't know about gloves, maybe you do that, I guess, but if you see those gloves, you're going down, and you're thinking, okay, that's my Dark World access, I have everything else. So I don't know if anyone did that. I see Bress is lurking in chat, I don't know if he did that, but he had a pretty good time in this, so... but yeah, I made a bunch of like silly mistakes. That crumble bridge was annoying, and then I don't know if you saw me when I was going back and forth into the portals. That was literally me like auto braining to go back to Length of Pass and go, wait, no, I want to go to Meridia, and then going, wait, no, I want to go to Meridia through the back door, and then going, wait, no, I don't have the hammer, I can't get to the back door easily, so I'm going to go back this way.
Yeah, I saw that. Been there. I know how that goes.
I kept changing my mind because I personally I always like doing the back door. I think it's a lot better because especially if you're only down to like 1 or 2 items, because if you find what you're looking for in the back, you can bail out early. If for a reason I did do backdoor, I would have gone straight through Meridia. Hopefully, I would have checked at least. I probably would have checked at least what's it called Main Street to get ice, just because I would go out that way. But yeah, especially because at that point I was so thinking it's got to be Death Mountain. One is locked behind the other, which it technically was, but not really. Although I guess yeah, never mind. You have to get the hammer and the cane for rock.
Still well done though, man. Well done. And just want to mention Cheesinator did find his hook shot. So everybody on stream is in go mode at this point. Hitaka dropping in on Ganon here in just a moment, and Cheesinator doing his go mode swamp. It was a really fun race to watch, though.
Yeah. I don't see me going into swamp much earlier than I ever did, which was the play you had to make. So I mean, I probably could have shaved off a couple minutes here just from some bad plays and some brain farts. But I got second try Red Tower Sparks. That was fun.
That was clip worthy. I gotta say, well done on that.
I should have gotten it first try, and I just shined into the wall. So, but yeah, I mean, I like going up. If you can go into Kraid from Death Mountain, I like going up Kraid because then you can make the decision point to go to either the wreck ship or to do wreck ship or to do the full Bryn loop. So I think if you can start at Kraid and you have something that gets you up the tower, like high jump, ice, spring, or speed, even in a normal seed, just because I think the routing is a little bit better, I'll do that. So the seed let me do it. So I did, however, completely forget about Spazer. I don't know if anyone saw that, but I'm so used to doing the alpha spark there, I just yeet it right past Spazer. So if that was
yeeted well because there was nothing there you want.
Yeah, once I realized it, I realized like when I started doing the Bryn loop, like, I didn't check Spazer, and I was just like, if it's there, then GG. I mean, it got late in the seed that I knew the stuff I skipped earlier, like Zelda Cell, Spazer, like any of that stuff. I was like, there's no way it's here, because then Aussie would be done. He would have been done at like 220 or something like that. So I was pretty confident it wasn't going to be there, and I wasn't too worried about it.
All right, and Hitaka has dispatched Ganon, so that's a G for him. He is off to Super Metroid. Another thing that was cool is there was a bunch of divergence right at the beginning. Cheesinator and Aussie both took similar routes where they went to Sahasra first. You took the southern route, I believe, up into Kakariko, and Hitaka took the normal route going through Lost Woods.
I took the normal route. I never do southern route. I don't like it.
Okay, it must have been Hitaka that
Yeah,
did the southern route.
It's probably switched. I just take the gamble and then find money or bombs in the top route. It happens like you'll get money or bombs, like 95% of the time, and if you don't, then you deal with it. Sitting there and farming 2 bombs, and that route is slower to begin with. It just like it feels like you're spending so much time to avoid like the 5% times the seed's gonna troll you, and then something has to be behind. But like the amount of things I have to line up, I don't think it's worth it. I did want to take like I was almost as soon as I found Screw, and then like Kakariko was nothing. I'm like, it's something is behind Screw attack, and then it kept giving me just enough that kept me on like it gave me flippers. I'm like, well, let me do the flippers checks. Like Screw is the worst thing to find for an opener in SM because not only, especially in hard, because like with speed you can do the early missile checks and that at least that kind of stuff, and there's a few more checks you can do. Screw gives you less, and it also gives you the old Mother Brain item. So you like if you think it's Screw and you want to do it early, like you have to check and it's awful. I mean, I guess at least in hard you can do 3 checks going down to retro, but like I don't know, it just feels so bad. So like I was pretty sure that was the answer, but like the seed kept giving me just enough to keep me on light world, and at the end of the day, like you needed all of it because you needed to get up to Hera, and then do that. So like really the only thing I lost early was climbing up Death Mountain twice, which isn't too bad.
Yeah, poor Cheese, the way he routed, he did pretty much all of Super Metroid. And the last 3 things he got, which is included after doing Mother Brain, was his mitts, his Moon Pearl, and his book. I mean, his boots.
Oh, Moon Pearl was on. Yeah, I mean, was there anything in Zelda besides? I mean, it was the Hookshot or Red Cane to Hookshot. That's it. That's like literally it, except for Flippers early, which you didn't. Oh, you did. Yeah, you need for Swamp. Flippers early, and was the flute. Yeah, the flute was necessary to do the speed thing into Croc.
Yeah, I think your swords were there. 2 of them were there at least.
Yeah, swords were Agina. You could have missed swords. Swords were Agina, which is missable for a while. You probably, the way the seed routed, you probably stumble on it sooner than later. Waterway, which was it? What even was in Bryn? Was anything Oh, I mean, there was a mirror, but on the redip, I don't think anything. Like there was some nice stuff like Wave, but I don't think anything required was in the Bryn loop until you got to Moon Pearl at the very end. If you do the loop like I did it.
Yeah, well, I mean, Varia was in Retro Brand, but at old Mother Brand.
Yeah, Press says Pearl, but none of those are actually. Boots was in Gauntlet, so like you could have just done Gauntlet, gotten your boots, dipped, done BT. Like you didn't actually have to go to Brinstar, so you could have missed the sword. And yet, I mean, okay, Aussie, more stuff you don't need. I mean, yeah, like I said, it's a bunch of nice stuff. It was charge and wave, so like it didn't feel too bad. Like you probably would, if someone skipped Bryn, they probably would have lost almost as much time from the people who got it, just because there was enough quality life items in there.
Oh yeah, Aussie pointed out charge beam wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, it felt good at the time, but I mean, the way this seed played out, like you'd have to. I don't know how you would skip Bryn. Like, there's no way you would not be doing Brinstar before going into Hookless Swamp for a Red Cane and then taking that Red Cane straight into Turtle Rock. Like, you're just not doing it.
Yeah, that'd be crazy, insane type of routing.
All right, well, apparently we should have put Bressing on Restream because man is a complete maniac. But yeah, and by the way, I'm not psychic or anything. I just NMG'd past random room in GT in case anyone was wondering, and I got bailed out.
Yeah, sometimes you do that. I swear I've missed locations making mistakes similar to that.
I have NMG'd past random room more times than I'd like to admit. But I'll be honest, I'd rather energy pass random room than random room in NMG. So
True.
Fair
That's a
point.
good point. But still, you put on a really good race to watch. Appreciate it, man.
yeah, thanks.
As do I. This was a fun one.
Yeah, it was interesting. I think it was interesting until the last item hunt. I was kind of wishing it was Pendant Swamp to make it a Hover Seed, but like then you would have needed the red cane, and it would have been pretty much all you've been able to do is skip Tor Rock at that point. But and like if we had to do Mire like for the other crystal.
All right, and Hitaka is doing his stand-up glitch. He will be done here in just a couple of minutes. And Cheese is on his way. Speaking of the rando room, he's about to be checking that now. But he'll have his big key soon.
Oh, good to find out what was in there.
I don't believe there was much.
I mean, there couldn't be.
10 arrows and yeah, there wasn't.
There's
Powerbomb.
literally nothing
Yeah.
I could possibly want in this room. I had full beam, I had tempered, I had silvers. The only thing that could have possibly been in here. I mean, and I knew where high jump was, so.
And to be fair, we never found the fourth sword, so...
Yeah, who wants that thing though?
And Neaterific has finished in 4th place with an official SRL time of 3 hours, 30 minutes, 24 seconds. GG to him.
Sword and mini helmet room.
No, Bress, you would be the only one that has found that so far.
So I don't remember seeing that one.
I don't even know what room he's talking about. GT.
Mini Helma Room in GT. Oh, I know what he's talking about.
Oh, it was upstairs. Okay.
Yeah, it's floor 6.
You had Master Sword going up. What'd you do? Skip Waterway or a
Maybe.
Gina?
Me? I had temper. That's why I wasn't bothered checking. Oh, Bressing. Oh, never mind. Sorry.
And with that, Hitaka has finished.
Oh, you never went to Bryn. Okay. Yeah, Anthony was just talking about that. You didn't really have to go to.
Yeah, that is pretty cosmic brain routing right there, Bress. That's impressive.
GG, Hitaka.
GG's indeed.
Yeah, that hammer in Precious Room was a lull. That was kind of a nasty place for that. But you know, I've noticed a lot of times there's something there at Dragon Missile. A lot of times hammer or moon pearl, they seem to love to put that.
Oh, like I said, if you saw the gloves, you just get pulled so hard the other way, and then you're thinking it's got to be in Dark World. So, it's just so funny that the answer was to go to the place that it doesn't make sense to go.
Yeah, because I know one seat I had silver arrows at Dragon Missile. We are now joined in the call by Hitaka. GG, Hitaka.
Hello.
That seed was something else.
Yeah, it sure was.
I think, though, you were the first one to find Hammer because you were the first one. Wasn't Hitaka the first one to find Gravity?
Did you go straight to Meridia, Hitaka? Did you know about gloves?
You mean like the gloves by desert?
Yeah, because I got Gravity and I immediately, because I went through Croc Speedway, did Upper Norfair, then went to Cathedral, went Gravity Suit, went, oh, okay, that's my Dark World access, and then went back down to Lower Norfair. But if you didn't know and that's part of what I was talking about. I was saying, if you knew about those gloves, you're not going to Meridia first. You're going down to Mire to get those, because then you can come back to Lower Norfair anytime you want too, because you already have Flute.
I didn't have Varia.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. What I did was, I did all the stuff and to get Mirror. I got Mirror. I thought, okay. Then you go up to Hera and you think, oh, Morph is up here. No, it's Speed. So then it's either early supers or Upper Norfair or Croc, and I decided to bet on Croc. So, and I never had gone down to Blueprint with to check that stuff, so I didn't have Varia, and I had like 5 E-Tanks plus a reserve, so that all the hell runs were in Logic. So I went to Croc, got Morph, and thought, okay, I'm just gonna do like the meme route and the Brinstar skip thing and just like go bottom up. So I full cleared Norfair and got Upper Norfair and got Gravity, and so I thought, okay, well, I guess I'll do Meridia. And so then I did all Meridia, and then I did Wrecked Ship, and then I finally got all the stuff in Brinstar, which was like a lot. No Brinstar skipped this seed.
Oh, you could have skipped Brinstar easily. What are you talking about? Boots were in Gauntlet. Well, yeah, but he's saying after he's talking about after getting the Morph Ball. Boots were in Gauntlet. Pearl was at BT, and there was one other thing.
When I say Brinstar, I mean like Brinstar and Criteria, like left side Criteria.
Yeah, but you can, if you get those, if you had done BT, like, I don't know, I guess you could do BT and Gauntlet, although you don't technically need boots. But, oh boy, you would have hated missing them. But like everything down in Brinstar.
For Desert, because the big key in Desert was on the Torque.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. Yeah. But like deep in Brinstar, there was not Bressing skipped Brinstar, Hitaka. Well, let's just say that.
Yeah, the only thing in Brinstar you had to have was Varia out of Retro Brand at Old Mother Brain. That was it.
That's not that's not Brinstar either, technically.
Yeah, that's still Criteria.
Oh, that's right. That's still Criteria.
All the stuff that was in like the Brinstar Criteria loop was in Criteria.
Yeah, exactly. So you could have the mirror, but that's not because of the way the seed worked. That's not really part of the loop. It forced you to dip down there, and then you can decide whether you want to reloop it or not later.
All right, and Cheesinator is dropping in on Ganon to start his fight.
But yeah, after finding Morph, everything was pretty jet until Hookshot.
Yeah.
And then that was the final nail in the coffin of this troll seed.
Yeah, the seed basically went from a massive bottleneck to a fast jet to, once again, a massive bottleneck. So basically the bottleneck was the bookend of the seed, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I kind of got bailed out by my bad tracking and especially with like not knowing the Morph stuff very good, because I didn't have all my E-Tanks tracked. So the only thing my tracker said was in Logic was Croc. So I went to Croc first before Upper Norfair, even though I tried to go up to Upper Norfair and I couldn't remember how to do it. And I was like, all right, I need Morph to go through Speedway. So I went to Croc first, and then when I got Morph, I didn't want to do the Upper Norfair Hell Run just because they're slow. I only had 5 E-Tanks. I didn't have enough Power Bombs to Crystal Flash. I was like, that's going to be terribly slow. So I didn't do Upper Norfair right then. I came back later, and then that's when I got Gravity. bow, and then I did Lower Norfair to mitts, and then I basically did all the Zelda dungeons, all the Crystal Zelda dungeons. Like I did Skull, Thieves Town, did Lower South Hyrule, all that stuff, and then finally went back to Metroid, did Ridley, did Meridia, then I did like Pod, and then I finally did Swamp.
Well, Pod made sense to me because at the time, because 5-item check, I probably would have wound up going there first over Swamp. But the way this seed turned out is that it wanted you to do Swamp. Meanwhile, Cheeseinator has finished off Ganon.
Yeah, it looks like Cheese and Aussie both managed to avoid Pod, which is just surprising to me.
And that's GG for Cheese because he has already done Mother Brain. He has finished in 6th place with an official SRL time of 3 hours, 41 minutes, 15 seconds. GG to him.
Yep, GG to him and GG to everyone in this race. This was a seed.
It was definitely one to watch.
Yeah, I got all the swag stuff and none of the normal stuff, so I got Red Tower Spark, I got the Mock Ball out of first or last missile. I guess I missed Ocean Fly. Missed I couldn't do Lava Spark. I did that I tried that 3 times just for yucks.
Yeah, that was a good recovery when you started shine sparking through the lava.
Yeah, you just take off speed and it'll stop you. I'm not sure why it did that, honestly.
Good question.
Did you take off screw attack before you tried it?
No. I took the only places I took off screw attack was Red Tower because Red Tower screw attack is terrible, and I took it off somewhere else. That would have made it really bad. I didn't take it off because I just did speed skip at the end. Did I take it out? I can't. There's no reason I would have taken it off there. So I think I had it on.
Yeah, because I was just saying, if you do the spin jump for the D boost to get Lava Spark, you have to take screw attack off there.
Spin for the D boost? What? You should just jump. You just hold down angle. You jump straight up, and then get the D boost. Like you get you need to get the spark coming off the edge, so you fall down, right? And then you just hold down angle so you can jump straight up, and then you wait for the flame to hit you and you deboost, and then it's like 4 frames to actually hit it or something like that.
Yeah, we're still here, Cheese.
I think he didn't get an invite.
It's funny, I clicked on done for him, so... Gotta tell me the speed gaming bots, something might not be. Oh, there he is. Hang on, I got him. Something might not be. Oh, there he is. Hang on, I got him.
GG, Cheese.
GG everyone, sorry I was just switching over to push to talk and stuff.
No worries there. That seed, wow.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with the seed itself, other than that I wish I did my Bryn skip from the other direction, because the stuff was all up in criteria, right? So that was just disappointing. But it's my first official race of this in like 6 months, and my first time on stream in forever, so I did some memes for the fans. I took Forgotten Highway, I did some goofy stuff with Shack Tool, and Honestly, I'm mostly fine with the run outside of a little bit of execution. I should have gotten the Shack Tool Ice Clip faster. I should have gotten the back of Escape faster, and I should have not fallen to Moldorm 1 a bunch of times. And there was the soft lock on Wave Beam. Didn't love that. But I don't know. As soon as I saw that red cane in Swamp, I was like, yeah, this is one of those seeds where you're supposed to double dip Swamp and go to a Pendant Dungeon. And sure enough, the Hookshot was in TR. So if I cleaned up a few things, I would have gotten a more competitive time. I could have maybe beat Hitaka, which would have been a cool thing to do for my first race in 6 months.
Well, for your first race in 6 months, that was a very good time, in my opinion.
Chat's saying Ice Clip isn't unlogic, and I know. I just wanted to do it. I was there, and I had Ice Beam and X-Ray, and it should have been free. I got it in practice just recently, and then I just kept beefing it.
Well, you got it. That's the important thing.
Other than that, yeah, like I deliberately went to out-of-the-way checks, out-of-the-way places, and kind of routed, in an atypical way, because look at the competition, right? Like, I'm dropping into this race. It's hard mode, Ozzy, Hataka, Apathy Duck, right? Like, these are very, very talented runners, so I'm not going to beat them in a foot race. I can't go to all the same locations and beat them. So, I figured Shack Tool, Plasma, just unusual, out-of-the-way things might be my best chance at catching up. That's why I gunned it for the crystals as soon as I actually had Dark World access, and then I started looking at, okay, how can I metagame the finish times? How can I metagame the comments or something and figure out a weird way to end it to get to Hookshot before I full clear the seed?
Well, I just want to thank y'all. It was a great race to watch. It was my first commentary in almost a year. It was a good one to be on.
Oh yeah, thank you for commentary, and thank you to y'all and the Restream crew. And who is our tracker tonight?
Link Force.
Link Force, thank you.
Yeah, Link Force had to bow out early, so he bowed out after the first finish, so I pulled the tracker window up, and I've been splitting duties between the two, so he started it. I wound up finishing the final innings, for lack of a better term.
Right on.
Yeah, big shout out to you tonight for carrying the load, because I had to step away a couple times, and then you did handle the tracking. Nice job. But nice job by everybody. It was a great race to watch. That Hookshot location, though, damn, that was just bad.
Yeah, but I did like that it made a bunch of random things required. Like, it made top of wreck ship required because Ether was behind the speed booster lock there, so you couldn't skip top of wreck ship. That made me feel a little bit better about full clearing. You obviously had to do the swamp double dip. So anyone who cleared left side swamp because they got the red cane before go mode, I saw little things along the way that were like, well, this will help me keep my time somewhat competitive. But in the end, it was just the execution that held me back.
Well, does anybody have anything else they want to add?
Well, there's one thing I will ask Cheeseinator. This is your first race back in a number of months. Any plans on doing another race anytime in the near future? Well, not tonight, in all likelihood, but down the road.
Oh yeah, I'll be probably doing pickup races in weekday evenings when there's not a Final Fantasy randomizer. So Wednesday, Friday are good days. But normal logic is the better racing logic, of course.
Yeah, I can see that, because hard logic, I look at it and I'm like, no, I'm good. So you guys are already doing better than me in that regard.
Well, the truth is, in hard logic, it seems like most of the seasons, there was a little stretch there, I think about 3 weeks in a row, where there was suitless Meridia necessary every time. But for the most part, most hard logic seeds, there's not really a lot of hard logic tricks that are
Yeah,
required. It just doesn't turn out that.
the thing about hard logic isn't that it's necessarily harder on average. Even it's the problem is it opens up so much of the Super Metroid areas immediately as soon as you get like enough energy, basically, and that just makes the whole game a pick 'em. You can't like backport the logic based on seeing things locked behind other things because nothing's locked. It's all open. So you just like, did you go left or did you go right? And it kind of feels bad, and you end up full clearing SM in a lot of the seeds.
Yep. Very means I said it before you got here. Very means nothing in the seed. Like I got very, I'm like, this is absolutely meaningless. Like except for lower Norfair stuff, maybe. But like,
yeah, I thought it was going to be a
logic
lot
break that too. So who cares?
Like when I saw the glove on what do you call it on the desert ledge, I was like, this is probably going to be a lava dive to mirror. But then it ended up just that I missed the mitts and the moon pearl that were up in Criteria, so I lava dived for nothing.
Yeah, I think anyone who saw those mitts is going down to taking the gravity suit and doing the gravity jump. Hitaka didn't have Varia, that's why he didn't go that, and he got hammer real early apparently. So, but if you have both, you're going that way, 100%.
Yeah, I would agree.
Well, GG everybody, it was fun. I have to get up in about 4 hours and go to work, so I am going to sign off.
Sure thing. Thanks for having us.
I appreciate you carrying me, man. I do. Thanks everybody for being nice. Y'all follow these guys. They're great runners, and we'll see y'all on the next one.
Yep, see you on the next one. And Ancient, welcome back to commentary. It was great calling it with you. GG's, guys.
Peace out.
And tomorrow on the Speed Gaming schedule, we've got Tomorrow on the Speed Gaming schedule, it is a Link to the Past rando daily races at 2 and 9, and a Final Fantasy 1 rando at 9. Plus some other things going on around the other networks. And don't forget about AGDQ as well. So with that being said, everybody, take care. Have a good night. We'll see you next time.